And now, live from the Man Cave, Studio B, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night jam-packed rant with your co-hosts, Kelli Uphaus. Stacy Rutledge is in the house with Shane Trejo and George Skendi. Yours truly, Larry Parsons. Our ever-present earwig, the real Tim Allen. This is My Brain. And now your host. Let's get ready to rumble! Jeremy Scott Gibbs.
Well, that was nice. That was nice. I have no tablet controls, Tim, so you know. Yeah. Silence that shit. There we go. I have no. Did you hear me, Tim?
Tim's doing 4 jobs at once.
I know, Tim. Ground control to Mr. Tim.
I'm not gonna be able to hear you, Tim. I can't hear shit.
What? And you, wait. Let me see this. You should be able to hear it.
Why am I seeing me? And
Okay. All right. Well, I see us there. I see there. I don't know. There.
Huh?
Where? Oh.
Oh, Kelly.
Somebody's going to have to keep up on chat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, everybody. No issues as usual when we started our show.
Yeah, no issues.
No technical difficulties. I got
sound.
it. We even have sound.
not on Larry, though.
Larry, is your pack on, buddy? Dope.
I'm not gonna be able to hear you.
Hey, you know what?
Can
I
you
will
hear me
take.
now?
Oh, look who's slinking in here, nice and
Oh.
quiet, ready to go. Kelly's right on. Look,
Nice and quiet like.
nice and quiet like.
Nice and quiet like, yeah.
I don't know where the clip went, Kel. So that is not the correct clip. So make sure the microphone itself is in the. See how the clip is not the clip. So you just have to
move
pinch
left
both them.
a half a foot. Everyone slide down.
He's
on
got
the
to
rail
come
side.
up too.
Yeah, get up. Raise your chair.
Coming up, and this party started.
Let's get Kelly. Let's
He's
get
just
Kelly
really
all the
short.
way in the
He's got
shot.
Yep.
1 second. I'm loading.
Looks like you just
Larry,
scratched
you
your
got
butt.
sound.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's not like we. Yeah. All right, there we go. Hey.
We got a full
Hey.
panel today. It's gonna be a fun show.
Still can't hear Larry.
Still can't hear me?
I'm hearing you through other people's mics.
Let me see your thing there, buddy.
Sorry, I don't have hearing.
Still can't understand coffee.
What? Say what?
Oh, you didn't put any batteries in. Here.
Yours work?
He's got no batteries in his mic pack.
See, you guys set me up. That's what you did. They will fix Larry.
See, Tim, if you don't say anything, we can
That's
just get away with
funny.
it. Larry can just
Nothing
keep
happens
talking.
for 5 minutes.
funny.
Now they can hear me pissing off the libtards.
Well, they can hear you. I don't know about anything else. Yeah, but yeah, great. Good gumdrops.
Nothing.
George, I'm stealing your paper. What do you got, George? You trying to hear something? And
I got nothing either.
You got nothing what?
damn it.
It's the ground.
Oh.
I know why Coffee's telling me couldn't hear anything. I mean, I disregard
Yeah.
him, but when the other people say it, then I say something.
Coffee can't hear anything anyway.
How does that box get turned off?
I don't know. I never touch it.
Now I hear all the things.
Well, see, our packs, it's funny. Can you hear it now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. So our packs, there's like Larry's pack is on one strip, and then the other set of 8 packs are all on 2 other channels. And for some reason, if that gets shut off, the other Larry's packs channel comes on. The other one doesn't come on. You have to go manually turn it back on. It's like, why?
I know.
Just to mess with me. All right. It is a jam-packed night. There's lots of stuff to go over. And I can actually read it because Mr. Coffee brought my glasses back.
Yeah, sadly, 8 of 9 will be logging into the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
We
who's
won't
already
miss-
in
we
chat?
8 of 9
now?
will be logging in.
Oh, she will be?
Yeah, and telling you to shut the fuck up.
Which,
I don't know what you're thinking over there, dude.
8 and 9.
Because nobody knows.
We like
Hey,
8 of 9.
I think 8 or 9 is pretty cool.
8 of 9's awesome. So, welcome everybody.
All right, we got 22 people in chat. I see 3 thumbs up. Let's go ahead and hit that on
yeah,
Rumble.
Come on.
That's just on
guys.
Rumble.
We're giving you great content. All we've talked about is technical difficulties so far and people sitting at the table without batteries. Okay. Let's get this disclaimers. Does anybody have any idea? Nobody has any
Let's
idea.
go, says Crazy Town.
Let's go. I did not pass out the paper.
The paper?
The paper.
How much have you drank tonight?
I just started sipping.
Okay.
You haven't drank enough.
I'm drinking enough.
See,
Can't speak.
Jen once said, she's like,
Proper.
I think I like De Serrano Jeremy more than sober Jeremy. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow, that's kind of rude. All right, let's do this.
Disclaim.
Yeah.
What do we got?
We got the opener. Who wants to read it?
I thought it was just me. Okay.
Well, it can be you. I got
Well,
you marked
somebody
down
else
as you,
wants
but do it.
Anybody else want it?
Go ahead. Goat head.
Goat head. This is my brain. Notice this podcast is mostly raw and unfiltered and completely politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, not Xmas, and the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. We thank our troops for their service. Thank you, Larry. And anybody else serve at the table?
that would be Stacy.
Air
Mr.
Force,
Coffee
Stacy,
over there.
Coffee.
Mr.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Yeah, we
he
got a
served.
bunch of. We got to thank you for your service,
He
gentlemen.
was just in the Air Force. Though.
Right. Well, yeah.
What a dick.
That still counts. My dad was there for it. We recognize only 2 genders as adults. We enjoy adult beverages. I don't think I have an overcam. Do I have an overcam?
What are you drinking there, Larry? Is that Dr.
Looking for an
Pepper?
overcam.
Ooh.
Do I have an
Uh,
overcam?
It's man cave.
Oh, I do have an overcam. There we go. Anybody got a clink? Adult beverage?
Oh, he's off the wagon.
Oh.
He's drinking. Everybody's got. Get Kelly's got something
Yep.
hiding in there. Let's look at all
Something
this.
going on.
No, this
All right.
is not Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we enjoy our
Wow.
adult beverages.
Coca-Cola.
We do drop some Anglo-Saxon, not French every so often. We cuss. We do not curse
Right.
or swear.
Yes.
Can't promise you nothing. Those are 3 different things. We love Jesus. We hate religion and the religious hypocrites, which go by some other name sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. If any of this offends you, you're watching the wrong show.
Exactly.
Hasta luego.
Yeah.
Tito.
Unless you're
If
here
you
to
leave comments about how offensive it is, you can't read or listen to the beginning of the show.
And-
Apparently, it makes you.
yes, unless you're here for highlights to post on some other I don't know, kind
Oh.
of mocking Facebook page
Yeah.
that might exist.
Shout out to those people. They're so
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yes,
They tried to mock me earlier this week by putting a tinfoil
Thank
hat
you.
on me, and guess what?
Thank you very
25
much.
more views.
Yep.
Keep mocking retard. I talked with somebody earlier this week or just the other day, and they're like, I kind of don't like the use of the word retard. I'm like, well,
So what?
it's in the front of my Bible because the word retard is not a discriminatory word. It simply means hindered in forward motion.
I like the way you say it too.
Retard.
You put the emphasis on
Well,
the syllable.
That's why. That's how I
Retard
explained it.
is
And this person
retard.
said, I just went through like fire safety training,
Yeah, retarded.
and I was like, oh, so you dealt with fire retardants?
yes.
You weren't worried about it,
Yes.
dude. I don't. What is?
No, you have to say
a
fire
hot mess.
special needs.
Oh,
my
oh, okay.
It's not.
Fire differently abled.
Yes. Fire special.
Is
Okay.
that happening
All
right
right.
now?
Just like all the other words, they try to hijack and take and make their own.
Oh,
I'm not playing. I'm not playing along.
So there's
Okay.
your disclaimer. If you missed it later in the show,
Yeah.
that's your.
Bada boom, bada bang. All right. I'm gonna pick for everybody. How about that?
Sure.
All right.
I get, no, I have to take
What?
Norris.
Do you have a microphone? Does
Can
he have
you
a
get
microphone?
No, you can hear me.
No. Does we can't hear Coffee? Does he have a microphone?
He has a microphone. He's being
Yes, I
obstinate.
said I'll do Norris.
And is his microphone on?
He's gonna have it on right now.
Now I'm gonna do Norris's. How's that?
Yes. Go.
Norris's
Norris-
bar.
oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for bears. Bears will kill you.
Bears just
I'm
kill
gonna
you.
fill in for Norris.
Is his handheld
Bears.
working?
I agree.
It was coming through, but quiet.
I know.
See, and that just disproved all of the folklore.
About bears?
No, about him not being able to read.
No, he.
There was
Hey,
there was a rumor.
No.
Mouth breather.
Listen, come on. I don't want to necessarily throw him under the steamroller, but
It's coming, Larry. It's coming.
but the truth is, he had it memorized. Okay.
Oh, that's what he knows. He's known for
knew-
decades that bears will kill you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he just, yeah. Don't give him that. Kelli, I think you like this one.
It is easier to fool the people than to convince them they've been fooled. Mark Twain.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Clemens.
Yep. Did I click that too bad?
Yeah, you did. You
My
did.
bad.
Well, I'm looking for camera angles because we didn't skew up a couple.
I want this one for George. George, grab your microphone. I can't do it until you're ready, George. Can you read that one?
Read it like the Gipper.
Yeah. Can you read that one? I mean the font and the print from across the room. I don't mean can you read. I know you can read.
No, I don't have it. Freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction. We did pass
Is that mic on?
it on our children.
Yeah.
The bloodstream. It must be fought from, protect and hand on for them to do the same. Ronald Reagan. He was a good president.
Get that microphone on your mouth.
Get there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it.
I'm not hearing it either.
Just a second.
Yeah,
let
I
me
think
check.
that mic's off.
Are you kidding me? Do
What
it
is it?
again, George.
It's the gremlins.
Let's hear it now.
Can I? No,
Now
Can
you're
you-
there. Okay, do it
you
again.
will have to clip. I'm not used to have so much, this thing's so close to my mouth.
Right. We'll go with that,
I will-
George.
I
You
will
need to
wait.
hang around the man cave more often.
I will wait till later in the show to relay a.
Okay, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction.
Yeah.
We did pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for the protect and handed for them to do the same. And like I said, is a great President Ronald Reagan.
Very
Yes.
good, George. Thank you. Thank you, sir. That was perfect, dude. Yeah, just keep it there. No, I will not tell the joke. I will tell the joke. I'll tell.
Oh,
it
that's
later.
the red handheld.
Yes, I will tell the joke later. Maybe I should tell it now. Just set the show off. Set the tone right.
Right.
My buddy has chickens, and he has one rooster that's
He has
quite
one,
aggressive.
he has one cock.
And it came at him and attacked him the other day, and he fell. He was taken aback as it's flapping its wing, coming at him, and he fell backwards. And this thing's jumping on him, trying to get him. And he just had to, smack it or whatever, right? And his wife looks out and she says, "Oh, so now you know what it feels like when a cock is in your face and you don't want it there." I only got one laugh.
Yep, I knew that was.
Expect a-
I moved away from the microphone. I lied.
I didn't hear that.
You guys were talking before the bear. There was a bear in the screen before.
Yes.
And you guys are saying that the bear is a very dangerous animal. I know some people, they have the nickname Mama Bear, but when I
Right.
see them face to face, they are sissies.
No.
I see how George is going to play this tonight.
That is very true.
I picked up what you were putting down, sir.
I have
just-
facts, and I can tell you the day and the
I-
time that happened. As soon as they seen me, they got disappeared. And I didn't say even a word to Mama Bear.
You're
It was like Mama Sissy.
you're kind of intimidating, George. I don't know if you know this, buddy. I'm just saying. Larry, go.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. It was written December 15th, 1791.
Be slower.
And
And
it expires when hell freezes over.
when hell freezes over, he sent me a text today. Did hell freeze over?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's-
for what?
Yeah, was it NPR? Is that what it was?
NPR.
Yeah, NPR attacked itself.
Yeah.
For its horrible reporting on Trump-Russia collusion and covering up for the Hunter Biden laptop story. There was something else too, and we'll get into that later.
When are we going to do the Fauci for prison T-shirts? Let's get those T-shirts going.
Yeah.
He likes to have little mascots
This
made
is
of him.
my brain.
Maybe we can
Fauci
get
for prison.
let's get the little Fauci candle that says Fauci for prison. I think that would be that right. You know, it just stands to reason since I killed people with AIDS back in the 80s, I might as well do it with COVID fakeness in the 2000s. All right.
Interestingly enough, he did it with AIDS too.
That's what I'm saying. Did it with the AIDS. Let's do this one. I'm picking this one. Shane,
I'm
ready?
automatic, Kelly.
Why? What'd I do?
To argue,
that is so beautiful.
to argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to the dead. Oh wait, Thomas Paine.
Yes.
I mean,
To the dead.
he's talking about liberals.
Well,
More or less.
yeah. Is it down to me? Am I the last?
Or communism.
I think it's down to me.
Or Marxism.
Or yeah, all of that shit. In the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man and brave and hated and scorned. And when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Mark Twain. There was somebody out there in lefty land was offended we were using Mark Twain quotes because they can't read. So there's that.
All together now?
It was more because they were pointing out that Mark Twain was a cross-dresser.
Oh.
So was Albert Einstein.
Well, you do know last week that Larry and Coffee and I had to come out
Yes, we came out of
because
the
I
closet.
used a
You did.
symbol that they've hijacked.
Yes.
Yeah,
The rainbow egg.
The rainbow egg that they hijacked
I am
again.
so glad I missed that.
So, but it was
So
it was
glad.
fun though. It was fun though. What we found out was secretly that we are, because we listened to the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album that has the triangle
It turned us all gay.
with the colors coming on it.
Are we still going on this?
Yeah, and so I didn't know that, but now I know that it's really a secret symbol. The Black
You know
Dark Side of
what?
the Moon
It
album.
turned me into a lesbian.
When other people's opinions
I thought you were
affect
lesbian
me,
trapped in a man's
then I'll
body.
care. Until then, I'm gonna keep doing what I do.
Hey, we like to point out absurdity because sometimes the stupid people are stupid, man.
All
All right,
together
ready?
now on 3 and 3.
Never
apologize and never
explain. It's a sign of weakness.
And I think that people out here would do well if you're watching to understand
And where's
that
the ball?
apologies do nothing with these monsters.
Nothing. Thank you, Crowder. And those who don't have ears,
The F-
and
the
Crowder
F-bomb-
always says something.
F-bomb goes to George
I'm upset.
because you weren't the first.
No, I'm upset.
Why?
I'm actually emotionally.
Are you
upset.
distraught?
I am distraught, and especially for Kelly. At Kelly.
I did something. I
What'd you
don't
do?
know.
You are like a fashion queen. I mean, you do fashion, you do hair.
No.
No.
Look at, we're talking eye candy here compared to these slobs, and you didn't even mention my shirt.
I love your shirt.
No, that's too late.
Okay, I'm sorry.
How? You know what?
And that-
We're barely into the show,
Look
and
at
you're
you.
you're.
Look
you're
at you.
The
You're
fashion
dressed like a
I'm
lumberjack.
roasting up here,
Stacey,
dude. It was
Stacey,
76
I'm gonna be
degrees
real
up here
honest.
today.
Do you know it? Look at what it just jumped up 15 since the word spread that I'm eye candy tonight. So
You know,
Stacey.
well, they'd
Right.
like to hear you too.
I
was
make
thinking
eye
that-
contact. I don't really pay much attention to anything else. when I'm
Learn
talking
learn
to
from
people
George. You
because
got to
I
have
make
that
eye
mic
contact.
right on your lips.
don't look down. Don't look up. Don't
No,
look up.
I look at you, and so therefore I'm not judging
That's
your
a weak
clothing.
excuse.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna lean my chair back and
Hey,
just
I was thinking you
watch.
just came from Aruba or somewhere else. They just picked you up with the airport and
Yes.
brought you here.
Well, close. There's somebody that's been talking
Close
about
is like
where we went today.
All right, let's catch up on chat, and then we're gonna
There's
get into the
nothing
show.
there except-
yesterday.
For the love of God.
1 second. Yesterday, I was talking with a guy, and he said that in the wintertime, I used to stay in Heartland. In the summertime, I used to stay in Heartland, but I have another house, and I was waiting for him to say in Florida or somewhere else. So in the wintertime, I went to Livonia. No shit.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
What the hell?
No,
Livonia is not your summer home from Heartland, dude.
no.
Wow. Okay. Disclaimers are done. Everybody did a decent job.
I have no mic control on George.
George's red mic. I got him. He's
Red mic? No, I thought.
I got
he's red mic.
Oh, coffee is handheld?
Coffee is handheld. Do you have the handheld out, brother?
Okay, just trying to get. I mean, your ears only, by the way. You're talking to your
I could switch him to black if we wanted to.
No, that's fine.
Coffee.
Don't worry about it.
All right, let's do this. Okay, initial thoughts. Next Tuesday here at the Man Cave from 5 to 8. And if you don't already know somebody in our community, then you don't know where the Man Cave is. Okay? But next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, mark it down. If you would like to be a delegate, show your shirt. Trejo. Can we, oh yeah.
nice.
I think I actually have a tape.
Delegates for Trump.
Table.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will not.
Turn left, Trejo.
Oh yeah. Get a good view right on the.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
All
is
right.
that? What for Trump?
Delegates.
Delegates for Trump.
Delegates for Trump. Okay, so I will not get into anything else locally in politics, but I still believe that it is very important to have our local delegates run because they can have an impact apart from anything else going on. So this coming Tuesday, a week from today, here at the Man Cave, 5 to 8, our good friend Joe Farkas will be here. He's also got a stamper, the notary, and he will sign anybody up that is desiring to be a delegate for our county, and we'll navigate through that. I am a delegate for the county. I got a little bit more involved in politics. I've taken a little bit of a back step on that right now, but if you would like to sign up to be a delegate and represent Republican Party and be able to be a voice, and then we can also explain what a delegate is. Trejo, you want to just give us a little quick?
Yeah, so precinct delegate is an elected official, kind of at the lowest level of any elected official, but it's still a very important position because precinct delegates, they're the people who not only represent the party and are the movers and shakers in the precinct, reaching out to their communities, making the bonds needed, telling people, people are confused who to vote for. You can tell them who to vote for, multiply your voting power. But also, you have actual power in the Republican Party to change leadership, to put in county leadership, to put in district leadership, and it goes all the way up to the state level.
Mhm.
Precinct delegates decide who the Secretary of State candidate is for the Republicans, the Attorney General, also different Board of Ed, regents, and other positions. So you have real power. And over the past 10 years, that really the conservatives have been getting involved at the precinct delegate level.
Yeah.
You've seen the candidates get more and more conservative every cycle, and now to the point of where the counties and the districts are overwhelmingly conservative, and all the people, the establishment people, the rhinos, if you will, have been pretty much flushed out with only a few exceptions. So we got to keep that going. We got to keep that fortified.
Right.
There's been a lot of growing pains, let's just say, within the Republican Party of Michigan.
Yeah, don't
But
say.
we still have to keep being organized. We have to keep improving and keep make sure that conservatives stay in there.
Yeah.
And that we don't just say, oh, we're throwing the towel. This is too frustrating. And then all the bums come back, and then they're in power, and
Right.
it was all for nothing. So we have to fortify our power and just keep working, incrementally to get more and more conservatives involved, and that's how we improve the Republican Party. And
that's an interesting thing, because the precinct delegate is the absolute grassroots of an elected person who can then go into convention and make a difference. They don't have to mess with any of the other party politics, any of the other bullshit going on. They can literally walk into that convention that they've been assigned to and make a difference. That's where you would vote for who's going to be sent to the state convention, and who would be voting on all the people you just mentioned. And so there's a dynamic there that's very powerful, that we can still affect that regardless of who at that point, we relegate some of our leadership to just positions, symbolic. Not saying that there aren't some good throughout the state, but we just relegate them to basically officiating the show, while the actual people, we the people, are the ones who affect the change. And that was one thing I was talking with Joe a little bit about that. And he said, you know what? He said, the more precinct delegates we have that are America First, that are grassroots conservatives, those are the ones that are going to affect the important things, not necessarily the day to day, but the actual county convention and then state conventions, right?
Yep. And not only that, but, a lot of people that I know who were precinct delegates, they got involved at the precinct delegate level. They started networking. They realized, this is something that I have a passion for. And now they're township trustees, city council members, county commissioners, state reps. So it really is the kind of the way people get involved, the way you meet like-minded people, and how you become the new leadership of the Republican Party yourself. You can do it. People who are going to, I said a couple people at an event, a Delegates for Trump event last week, where they were, they were first-time delegates, first time they ever signed up 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and now they're actually delegates for Milwaukee. They're going to Milwaukee for the RNC, and they're going to nominate Trump and be a part of history.
Nice.
Just from
I
one
heard
cycle.
that the other day.
Just from one cycle,
He's touching buttons.
they're already, that much involved, and they've gotten that, much of an honor to be a part of history and nominate President Trump and do all the other cool things that all the delegates in Milwaukee will do. So it's a way you can get involved. You can make a difference. That's why they don't tell you about what a precinct delegate is when you're in school.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
It's just I had to think for a second. You reach over one more time.
You get that in your head.
Those delegates that go down to Milwaukee to do Trump, or do somebody pay their ticket and such to?
No. They're gonna. It costs a little bit of a coin to go
That's what I was
over
gonna
there.
say.
Right.
So there is some sacrifice that goes into it, obviously.
All right.
So yeah, but it's just a way to get involved. So the way to make a difference. They don't tell you what a precinct delegate is in school or whatever, because they don't want people to understand that the power that they truly have to make a difference and to change the politics in their state, in their community, from the ground up. So it starts with becoming a precinct delegate, and come here next week if you're in Howell or Livingston County, and you can get signed up. And if you check out Delegates for, that's the number 4 Trump.com, we have a bunch of events all throughout the state where we're going to have notaries there. I'm a notary too. I got one of those little stamps. So me or someone else will stamp your thing, make it as easy for you to sign up as possible, and bring a friend or two, because we always want new people coming in. If you're, you always have to be growing the movement or you're losing momentum. So bring a friend. We have fun events all throughout the state. I think we're having one here in May. So it's going to be awesome, and you got to stay optimistic, because the enemy wants us to be dejected, but we're gonna win big in November, and we're gonna come together and pull it off.
It's surprising some of the pushback on Trump, and so I love this idea of just we're going to cut to the people and the delegates for Trump, and just not even worry about that. George, what are you going to say?
Talking about person delegates.
Microphone.
I am one of them, and Heartland Township does all the person delegates from Heartland. We have every month a meeting in somebody's house. If you want to be part of this meeting, in this month, I'll let you know when and where.
Please
you
do.
Can come and.
I will come and sign people up, and that's a very important thing. It's another thing you can do if you're a precinct delegate. Open up your home to your neighbors. Bring them in.
No problem.
Make them a little food, and tell them about the issues that are important. People really want to know. They really want to know what's going on in their communities.
Yeah.
They're just so confused and get so much disinfo from the establishment. They know they're being lied to. So you have to be that voice. You have to be that the kind of the light for them out of the darkness. And it all starts with becoming a precinct delegate.
Absolutely.
You can't believe how much brainwashed did the media, not only in the United States, but also around the world. I have a friend of mine, very good friend, that used to go many, many times hunting in Germany for wild boars. We're talking about Trump, and now he doesn't talk with me anymore because he told me you are supporting Trump and he is a criminal. This is how much brainwash did the media around the world about the people and about the agenda that people that want to rule the world are trying to push everybody.
yeah, they they want us to back down. They want to turn the heat up on us, and make us cower in the face of what we think the social or professional persecution and consequences will be. But what we have to do is double down on our beliefs and refuse to back down, as the founding fathers did.
Yep.
And you can't grovel to these people. And if they're brainwashed, I wouldn't say, hey, go fuck yourself, you're brainwashed. I wouldn't necessarily, thank you. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but you try to extend some grace to them, but at the same time, you don't placate them. You don't back down on your opinion. You stand firm, and then hopefully they'll come back to the truth later and snap out of it. But if they don't, that's on them for being so mentally weak.
And I'll tell you what, like you said earlier, it's a place to network. Everybody at this table, I met you all through becoming a precinct delegate, one way or another. Either I became a precinct delegate and met Larry, and then Larry networked with some of you,
No, except me.
or I said at the table.
I am one.
So, some people tuned into the podcast and checked it out, but that's because we had different people that were promoting it that I became. So it's exactly right. There's a way of networking. And, you do see some things in the local politics that are, well, they are what they are. And then, but I tell you what, the next thing I want to look at right now is that, so that's this coming Tuesday, 5 to 8 here at the Man Cave. If you're in the know and you want to sign up, you're tuning into the podcast, you will know somebody in our community that will direct you to the right place to show up here. I'm not going to give out the address. It's not like a state secret, but I'm not going to give it out. Anyways, Genoa Township, we've talked about this on the show. I've done a couple interviews with a few people about that. They're trying to push rezoning again. And so I want to speak to this, Susan, who's one of our people, and her good friend, Trisha. Both of them are awesome delegate organizers and do a great job with that. And Susan said, so here's the flyer. They need help on Thursday, April 11th. So 2 days from now, from 6:30 to 8:30 at Becker Brewery Becker. There's a brewery at Becker.
Becker.
In Brighton.
In Brighton, it's that big brick building right by the railroad tracks.
Papa, it says free pizza.
Yeah. It says cash bar and free pizza. So if you are interested in that,
Mr. Coffee, have you had pizza lately?
oh my God, don't what? Why?
Papa and I are talking on the side over here.
Yeah.
What time did you
So,
say?
8 or 9 chimed in if I want. Can I read 8 or 9's comment?
Yeah. 8 of 9's comment.
8 or 9 said, I tried to be a delegate about 5 years ago. It was very cliquey. My daughter was one in Howell Township. And we all love 8 and 9.
We do. And you know what? It can be cliquey. I know, for instance, in my area, I became the delegate captain for my area. And it was great.
A little badge.
Tim and I sent out a whole blast email, sent up a follow-up email, and never got a single person in our area to respond to it.
Were you done with that
organize.
Brewery Becker announcement? Because
No.
I had okay.
Yeah. Let me get this. Okay. So,
Because there's the address.
this is the 2024 organizational open party. You've got it on the screen?
Left
Okay,
side of your
very good.
screen
Yep.
is
So this Thursday, the 11th, from 8:30 or 6:30
500
to
West
8:30.
Main Street in Brighton.
Yep, 6:30 to 8:30 at Brewery Becker in Brighton. Cash bar and free pizza. And the line here is, if you don't want to see Genoa Township become one big industrial park, worse than Novi, then come join us.
There you go.
So they're trying to do this. And my understanding is it's not just a rezoning that they're trying to do right now. If they do this rezoning that they're looking to do right now, and they'll obviously have more information when you show up to this, they can go backwards and reinstate all the stuff that they worked so hard to get rid of. And they're trying to turn this into, they say light industrial, but it's going to be heavy duty industrial, and it's going to be a 15-minute city type of arrangement with a lot of small homes. And most of these people across the board, across the political spectrum and across the philosophical spectrum, moved out to have 5, 10, 15 acre parcels in the woods where they didn't have to deal with stuff. And these people their land is being threatened buy a bunch of that. But going back to, going back to 8 of 9's question, the delegates, there can be some clicky stuff. You have to weed through it, and you got to find the other people. And that's part of what the delegate drives. When you do delegates for Trump, and when Joe comes in, Joe's, looking at who are the people that are grassroots that actually care versus somebody who's, I've met delegates that they don't show up for anything. They don't do any, they're like, I'm like, why did you run? At least show up to county convention, and do some networking. But there are people that are just like, I'm like, what are you?
Well, if there are people who are lazy delegates, then they should be rooted out, find people who are
right
going to be the serious activist leaders. But for every, person who is going to be the lazy delegate or fall off, look at that person who joins and then really takes off and becomes a star. So
right.
It's just, little by little, you kind of like shaking out the pieces of gold from the dirt, so to speak, through the process.
A little bit of pain in there. All right, so that's coming up on Thursday. We've got the delegates here on next Tuesday. Next thing on my agenda here is the migrant crisis update. Tim, do you have the video for that?
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent me a bunch of links. I
I
was supposed
did.
to pull shit.
I want you to hear these. I want to hear the
You
numbers
kidding
here.
me?
Uh,
Okay, you sent me.
I mean, I can start pulling them up if you
No,
want me
No,
to.
no.
I mean, I'm just
You
saying.
sent me stuff. I had a job to do next to my other 5 jobs, and I should have got this one done.
Yeah, I put a door in before the show.
I know. You do physical jobs that make noise and actually change the structure of the building. I just push buttons. That's understandable. The easy answer is no. The hard answer is I can literally pull it up from your email and share it like I just did the other stuff. You sent me Tuesday links, and this is which one? In the list,
Tucker.
The Tucker.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's the one. I went to X to see where my
Oh
save.
shit! Look at that. The first one.
Yeah, should have sent you in my order.
Let me see if I can do this. Oh my gosh! Look at this. I can actually just throw it up here on the
I want you guys to
screen.
hear this because this is Larry made a page and we sparred a little bit, but he's got it squared away.
I don't know if if I have to back it up, I will.
Yale University released a study last week. The numbers you need to understand. Yale University released a study last week by 3 researchers, all of them liberal, I believe, who concluded that the actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million. It's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact 1. Fact 2. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship, voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact 3. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact 4. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan. 17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million at least. Permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate, period. The numbers you need to understand.
Yeah, that's
Yale
right.
University
So
released a study last week.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody heard it because I don't have their confidence monitor. Sorry, guys. We rearranged a whole bunch of things for the veteran show, and we had to steal a cord to make one camera work correctly, and we haven't replaced the cord.
So you're saying, did everybody hear that or not?
Yeah, you guys hear that?
Yep.
So Tucker broke that down, and it's really north, and that's been the agenda. If they can't get rid of us, they can't overcome us legally, which they
Kelly, what did you say about what?
I said replacement theory is a conspiracy theory.
Replacement theory.
Replacement migration. Let's see.
I wouldn't call it migration. It's not migration.
They're being
Is your
formed
microphone-
here.
It irritates me that
Larry can't hear you.
I had him shut off.
it irritates me that that the libtards refer to them as migrants. They're not migrants. They're illegals.
We
They
know
are
that.
trespassers.
Yes, we know that.
Take a
Right.
breath. Take a breath.
So
Coffee. I know you're about to say newcomers. Take a breath.
Don't you guys start doing the word salad fight. If I start seeing everybody start doing a word salad fight on here over what terminology, we all know that they're
Thank you,
pieces.
Tim. I was ready to go off.
People
Thanks.
are
You're welcome.
disappearing, and the children are disappearing in rapid
That's-
numbers, and they're being brought here. And what are we doing?
We are literally, we're allowing this. We're
Mhm.
facilitating this. And so we've got to be vigilant. We got to step up. As soon as we start, as soon as you start seeing it, draw attention to it.
Can I say
See something,
just
say
real quick?
something. Yeah. Do you see something?
How stupid you
Say
gotta
something.
be on the other side, the Democratic side, the liberal side. Am I cutting off, Tim?
No, you're good.
Okay. To not realize that you're getting replaced. I mean, just look what's happening in sanctuary cities. They're pushing all the minorities or
That's-
low income aside.
They're
and
not looking. That's
but
what
they,
it is.
they
They
don't,
live in
I
their
don't
bubble.
understand how these idiots that, we badger with, they don't understand. They're going to sweep you under the rug.
It's a bubble of bias.
What's
I don't get
amazing,
it.
well, what's amazing to me is you do have a lot of people that are starting to wake up.
There are a lot
And
of
they're
people
like-
that are seeing.
And I was
it.
telling, who are we talking to, Tim? We were talking about this. We're like, I'm like, no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking in the locker room with the hockey guys.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
they're,
me.
and they're like, have you guys seen this? And I'm the resident,
Maniac.
yes. If they need prayer or know what the latest conspiracy theory is, they come to me, and I'm like, okay. And so they're like, what about this? And I said, and I dropped right into an accent. I was like, listen, man, you can't have all these motherfuckers coming up in here getting our welfare. You need to back the fuck off. And that was hilarious for them. Anyways,
I think
but that's there's a lot of people that are on that vote Democrat because they get the benefits, the welfare, right?
Mhm.
And you can pick it, and I went into that accent, but you can pick from any demographic, any ethnicity. It doesn't matter. There are people in those groups that are on the government tit, and then they see this whole group of migrants, these illegals coming in, getting more benefits than they ever got.
Right.
And they're like, what the hell?
Where's my hotel room?
Where's my hotel? Where's my $2,000 a month?
Right.
You know?
I gotta
Yeah.
vet this a little better. It was just something I read quickly today, but it sounds like they're taking like the worst of the worst that are coming in here and sending them as mercenaries over to Ukraine.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I read that earlier this morning.
Wow.
In Oakland County, they have
Yeah.
the Chilean gangs that are committing like robberies with like not military precision, but they're staking out homes.
Mhm.
They're waiting until they know people aren't there. They're finding vulnerabilities and in whatever windows
You're saying
open
which
or
is
whatever.
more efficiency than your average home alone burglars.
Exactly. So very
Mm.
efficiently looting high-end homes in places like Birmingham. And then the sheriff, our Sheriff Bouchard, comes out and says it's Chilean gangs, migrant gangs that have come over the border, and he's called a conspiracy theorist. So it's not happening. Blah blah. Republicans are making this up, and there's in other cities or in other areas, it's a different ethnicity that's doing the same type of robbery. So all these different areas are getting taken by these different
Like they're
other countries
'cause they're sticking together.
They're carving us up
And then
city by city.
And then Kelly's seeing that some of them are being snatched up to be sent to Ukraine because you know that the Ukrainians right now they're either fleeing, and I don't know if George, if you
They've run out of men.
well they're fleeing, they're marrying whoever they can find
Mhm.
because if you get married and your wife is disabled, you don't have to go to war, and they're just sending in all sorts of kids, and so they're sending them to the slaughter. What?
Oh, I was going to roll off your thing. Also on that, they said the retard word, that they're actually, it was on InfoWars, that they're taking retarded men.
Yes, they
And
were
put-
taking
yeah.
people.
Oh, I didn't
They
pull
said
that.
that.
I did not pull. Well, not only did they say it, I didn't pull the video. I think it was Alex Jones that posted a video. He was reposting somebody, but he's in my feed, so I don't get everybody. But he posted somebody, and there was a I don't want to say retarded because they didn't use that in the term, but yes,
There was a mom
it
that
was-
was being interviewed, and her son was being taken, and he was
there
not.
was, well, they had this Down syndrome kid
Mhm.
who's this happy dude. Every Down syndrome, I would never refer to a single Down syndrome. That's why I make a distinction when I say the word retarded. I'm talking about anybody that can't move forward, because I've never met a Down syndrome
That's
kid.
literally what it means.
I've never met a Down syndrome kid that wasn't the one of the most purest, happy person. And I've been around a number of them, and they're you know, they might have a little fit now and then, but they're the coolest people to be around. And the only thing that you take away from it, you know, if you have any negative of it, is you feel for them because they're so sweet and everything like that, that they couldn't have all of their faculties, but in their present state, they're some of the sweetest people, and most of them all are hardworking, and they got a smile on their face, and they endure. And I watched this video of these assholes over there in Ukraine tormenting this kid, this Down syndrome kid, in fatigues, you know, all dressed up.
Really?
And then the end of the video, they literally punch him and knock him down.
Does that surprise you?
Wow.
No, they're Nazis.
It doesn't surprise me, but it's still disturbing. It still breaks your heart, because you know these people are, you know, the purity of it. When you've ever met a Down syndrome kid, they're just the sweetest little kids.
My nephew.
Can I say something real quick, and then you
If
need
it-
to maybe check
Is
out
it
some
Down
of these
syndrome? I have a
people
nephew
talking.
that I wanted to mention.
Mention your nephew, and then
Well, my nephew is 26 years old. He's Down syndrome. My oldest nephew, and I've seen his spirit crushed only once, and it completely does change their demeanor. It changes his demeanor, and he does go into you say fits or whatever. But yeah, his entire youth, he is the number one highest gold medal Special Olympian in the country, with 18 gold medals in track and field in the state of Oregon. And so
Awesome.
he's a beast. I mean, even at 25, he would outperform me in any track and field. He's a sprinter, he's a runner. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen his spirit crushed. He went to youth group all his life, and he loves Jesus. But
Awesome.
yeah, I hate to see that happen to someone whose outlook on life is so pure and simple that it's almost you're almost jealous that they have
that happy simplicity.
Yeah.
You're right. You're almost there. Coffee, what were you going to say? And I do have to give a shout out to. I see somebody chiming in.
Yeah, I'm going to let you look at that. Now, I just wanted to say something real quick, because there's somebody. I lived right for 7 years, right on Riddle, where the aircraft come over to Howell. And again, this weekend, Larry, I know the difference without even looking out the window between a commercial aircraft and a little Cessna or a little jet or a helicopter. And it was exactly 8-something in the morning. Did you hear the commercial airliner go over? You don't have to answer your name, but did you hear it? Just wait. Yes. Did you hear it? It was a commercial airliner. And I've just in the last couple of years, I'm not a conspiracist. I know I was in the Air Force, the difference by sound of a actual airliner coming into land.
I live on an
And
airstrip.
it's really, this is probably 2 in the last 2 weeks. There's got to be somebody that can tell us what is coming in or going out.
Well, I think,
what are you trying to say?
are you trying to say that they're dropping off illegals? Is that what you're saying? They're flying into.
For one, I don't want to have to school you guys
is
again.
that what you're
8 of
trying to say?
9 has said it. She's on top
Oh,
of her
newcomers?
game. Newcomers.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
newcomers. I'm not getting into this fucking word salad with you guys.
Well,
And
if
if there's
you
a
look
food
back
fight,
at-
I'm throwing
The illegal
cherry
aircraft
tomatoes
depositors,
at
yes.
your heads.
No,
until they
you got
blast
about
on
8
your-
people over here that came up with other names.
Okay,
too.
so all right,
illegal
so
invaders,
the
communists,
newcomers.
mass.
Oh my
Look
God.
at illegal invaders. But anyhow, there's some people asking.
I'm gonna change the name of the show to "This Is My Brain Explosion."
Cat respecter.
Look at Charlotte Cosmic.
You can tell if they're illegal aliens. They have full shopping carts, TVs, computers, etc. Well, they at least got cell phones and credit cards.
I gotta
Liberals.
I gotta meet
liberals-
this Austin guy.
Liberals could start their own podcast. They could call it "If I Only Had a Brain."
This is true. That's a very good one, Larry. If I only had a brain. So I see he's chimed in and he's identified himself. This is my buddy Dean. Dino was he worked for me, and doing construction. And he also, if you go back up, it says this.
Okay.
It's your bro Dino. Dino was a dear friend. He worked for me, and he also was part of the podcast for a good year. And love him to pieces. Great guy. And so he's chiming in tonight. Thanks, Dino. I love you, buddy. He's part of the community up there where our friend Tony lives. That's how I met him, was through Tony.
Does he play any instruments?
Dino is a badass guitar player, and I'll tell you what, I have had some of the most kick-ass harmonies. He's one of the few people in my life.
Is he your buddy that was shredding the guitar to Eddie?
No, that was Tony.
Tony.
No, Dino is a phenomenal guitar player, and
loves you.
But I'll tell you, he loves me. I love him too. But I'll tell you what, Dino and I, when we harmonize, he's got a his tone of voice and mine. He's a little bit lower in his registry, and the blend that we got. I mean, he was here for a good year or more. We went fishing trips and stuff like that together, and we would blend. We would do like Alice in Chains harmonies or all sorts of originals that we wrote, and he would take that lower registry and I'd take that higher, and the blend, and then Vince would chime in with us, and it was just falsetto baritone. Thanks, buddy. And so I love Dino, and he was part of the show, like I said, for a good year, maybe quite a bit over a year. One of my most memorable shows with Dino. So you guys think this show has just been all political from day one? We literally did one show with Dean, Vince, my son Vince, and our buddy Mike. Mike and Dino sat on this side of the table, and me and Vince sat over here, and I put the box of Star Wars Trivia Pursuit on the table and the bottles here with the shot glasses. And I said, all right, for every 5 questions we get right, you guys got to take a shot. For every 1 we get wrong, we'll take a shot. 7 shots later, they quit. They were like, you guys, we're like, we didn't even take a shot yet over here. I'm like, I'm disappointed. I was sipping Di Serrano the whole time, and I'm like, I haven't taken a shot. They're like, because I raised my kids on some Star Wars. Anyway, so that's pretty sweet.
How about those new Star Wars movies? They're pretty good, huh?
You know what? There's a lot of criticisms on the new Star Wars movie, and there's some woke BS in them. But I'll tell you what, if you take them, one of my philosophies about movies is if you take the movie as a standalone, whether it's part of a series or not, if you take it as a standalone for the merits of the movie itself, can you appreciate it? And so I was actually disappointed with the prequel series, and then rewatched them.
It's aged well.
And then it's aged well. And I think the present ones will age well. Some of the other overtly woke shit coming out of Disney will not age well. And they've come out and said they're pushing agendas.
Mm-hmm.
And they've suffered for it. I mean, the Marvels movie was the worst box office that they've ever had. Horrible movie. Anyways.
Got a question from somebody. BB asks, what does Shane do for a living? Share a personal story.
He's a pimp.
Shane. He's a pimp. They want to know what you do for a living.
I work for various nonprofits and political organizations. So one of the things I do is I work at My Brand Media, which is a marketing firm. Sell different services to people through that. One of the things I'm doing is lobbying for fewer regulations on vapes. They're trying to, the FDA is trying to do different regulations to put vape stores out of business,
I need to get you in touch with that 903, 906. We met the guy up in the UP, the last fishing trip.
Yep.
We went into a shop. He was the one that spearheaded the lawsuit against Whitmer trying to ban all the vape flavors and everything like that. He was the one that launched the case. I'd love to have you get in touch with him.
Please do. Yeah.
What were you going to show me, George? Give me that back. So
just a lot of different writing.
So a lot of
for
networking,
people.
a lot of marketing.
So I do, yeah.
You do copy?
I write for Big League Politics.
Okay.
And then I do different writings for different people and groups.
That's a freelance.
Freelance writing, consulting, public relations.
Have you done any for
marketing?
Gateway Pundit? Because we had them here with.
I have not done. I've been featured on Gateway Pundit for my
For what you do?
exposing, all the different election
But you haven't
fraud type
written.
stuff.
You haven't written.
But I've
for them.
never actually wrote for them. But I
Okay.
really love those guys. They're great.
Yeah, they're great. We had them here. Okay. Are we catching up?
Do you know who that is?
Yeah. That's big. That's El Jefe. When you see that, that's El Jefe.
It's the
He's
first
enjoying the
comment in like 4 months since I've been around. It says they're enjoying the chat.
Microphone.
I mean, want
Can
me
you
to
can you get on your
Microphone.
microphone? It's on.
Yeah, it's the first time in like 3 months somebody said they enjoyed the chat. I guess I
Tim,
gotta start
correct me if I'm
swearing.
wrong. Jeff likes to tune into Twitch along with Tim Lauder.
Baghead, yeah.
But Jeff El Jefe.
Yes,
Okay.
the Baghead,
comes in
yes.
and-
Yes. I'm pretty
So
sure.
he's a switch hitter, Jeff, right? Jeff, you a switch hitter?
Since you mentioned that, by the way, let me take a quick little broadcast announcement, broadcast note, and say that if you are watching on Rumble, Sling Blade,
over there.
watching on Rumble, Sling Blade, you can do us a favor by popping over and opening another window in Twitch.
Yeah.
And
Can we
Twitch-
put those up on the screen real quick, Tim?
Well, I could throw up. Yeah, let me throw up a Twitch.
Let's do the overlay and
show
throw that up
Let me show them what we're talking about.
for other reasons. As soon as you have us overlaid and
Well, I don't know about overlaid. Well, let me
well, I
see
need
if
the
can do
studio
it.
to go dark for just a minute.
Yeah. One second.
I mean, I can wave to everybody. But,
No. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm streaming. See, that's the problem. When I go to Twitch, I'm streaming somebody else's shit
Oh,
because I'm not logged in on this computer because
my bad.
your man. Where's this in my brain?
Did you get an interview with Roger Stone?
Yeah.
I've been interviewed by Roger Stone several times.
Oh, Roger Stone interview.
Yes.
I need Roger to come on the show.
Are we
'cause I
on
like
Twitch
I can
tonight?
make that happen.
Let's make that happen.
Did we stream to Twitch?
Nice.
We did. I'm not even going to comment. So we're good. That is dedication. Our bartender for tonight, divvying out various drinks, alcoholic and otherwise, a lot of non-alcoholic.
Okay, the studio's blank. I'm literally looping a
Okay.
Twitch broadcast.
Anyways,
Okay.
our bartender had to.
Oh shoot! Why is
had,
it doing that?
had to
Why
piddle,
is it doing that?
and I wanted you to go to.
Okay, you're interrupting. You're interrupting me.
Snitching on the
Down here on
bartender.
the bottom right hand corner, there's a button that says clip. Bottom right hand corner. This is what the clip feature on Twitch
Ooh,
is.
that's a good
Okay.
question.
So you okay? Everybody, stop talking.
Roger Stone.
What was that? That I just saw?
So now
I've been
you
interviewed
hear
by Roger Stone several times.
the
Oh,
Roger
Roger Stone
Stone comment. See how you can slide this bar and you can back up and you can actually grab a clip of
The
10,
studio to go
20
dark for
seconds.
just-
So you can slide
the
it
studio
around.
to go
I'm going to
dark.
mute it. You can slide around this Twitch clip feature. And
Mm.
whenever you see something, you can say, okay, give me 25 seconds of that. And then add a title in it, say, AJSG, which is what we call
So would the
Jeremy.
brainworm people use that
Yes.
effectively?
Oh, yes, please. If you are a liberal, please clip
Clip that
this.
stuff, share it with us.
AJS says something stupid, STU.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, when they clip
stupid
that
thing.
and then you share it, also
Yes.
send it to Larry at This Is My Brain Host.
Well, no, watch. I'm going to hit publish, and literally it gives it a URL, my gamer tag, AmeroBlade, aka ZenRender. Those are my two gamer tags. It's right there. I literally just published a clip of our show into our This Is My Brain podcast on Twitch. That allows me. Am I not following? Oh shoot, I forgot to follow. This allows us to then follow those clips and use them in future, broadcasts for promotional purposes.
Nice. All right. Very good. What do you got, George? What do you got? George wants to show me something. I got to read. I got to put glasses on. Restrictions on transgender athletes in Paris. Athlete. It said transgender, and I just I couldn't help it.
Just
So,
stop it.
restrictions on transgender athletes in Paris. Transgender. Oh, look at the wording of this. You got to send me did you just see this one?
No,
You got to send it to me before the show because transgender athlete face. wait. I gotta pace myself when I read it. Transgender athletes face increased restrictions ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics compared to previous rules. I could read that much differently.
I think it's because so many countries are starting to come down and say, you know what, biology plays a role here and we need to squash this because so many girls are getting hurt.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it.
Well, not only they're getting hurt, but they're shattering records that they have no right. Listen, how long did this country, 30 years of fighting?
What makes me sad?
Of fighting for Title IX?
For Title IX,
to have girls,
I know,
in that.
to be able to have sports.
Yeah.
That's all they're on for their equivalent and the whole 9
Pay no
years.
attention to the bartender falling back on this one.
I love it. I love it.
I tell you what, you were awesome. You were awesome.
are
So stealthy.
very-
I will do this. I will pass this off camera. And she's being trained now because she was just like hanging out. Her and her husband are awesome. They came and gave me some advice and we hung out till the wee hours of the morning. And she said, well, I'll come and bartend. I just don't want to be on camera. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, you're not even on camera. That camera's not even on you.
You were good.
But I'm like, oh, I had to look over and I'm like, no, fill it up with ice and then fill it up with Disaronno to the top. And shout out to my man Trejo. How are you doing on your tea over there, buddy?
Doing good.
You're good, Larry, on your Coca-Cola or whatever the hell you're drinking?
Yeah.
I got a great suggestion for you since you're doing such great work on this area.
Yeah.
Serious.
What?
A slide or a fireman's pole off
No.
of that side.
So
I'm serious as a heart attack.
I know.
A slide would
I know.
be freaking
Yes.
awesome. A tube slide.
Right?
I've been trying
So-
to get him to put a pole in.
Stop.
You're
So one of
talking
the
about
things-
pole dancing.
So if you guys look over there and you see where the lamp is,
Yeah.
all right, so there's enough room between the end of where the fish tanks are going to be and the step going into the balcony where that lamp is to put in a 36-inch door. And I had initially, and it may end up happening eventually, I want to put a balcony on the outside of the building that you can access right through here. And you would go out in that balcony area and you would be able to, there'd be like 2 or 3 windows here. And you'd be able to sit out there and look at the patio, but also look back in the man cave. And I was going to put a big spiral staircase off the end of it.
Oh, that would be fun.
And so
But
you
not as fun
could
as
go
the
out there.
slide.
Is Cat Respecter doing his normal?
on me, but
You got a Willy Wonka, a staircase. Have it be a staircase that clink,
Yeah.
turns into a slide.
Kill that mosquito,
Yes.
Lumpy. Did you see the mosquitoes? For fuck's sake. Look at that one right there behind. Get it, Larry.
Don't let it
No,
land
don't-
on me. You can
Let it
hit
land
me.
and then
With
kill
your
it.
hands.
Larry,
it's on your forehead.
for
Just
Jesus,
saved his
it's
life.
not. It's not.
I just
Okay,
tried to
it's
get
coming
it
to you,
off.
Trejo.
I'm not gonna hit her.
Well, we're gonna
No,
You can
no,
hit
it's
me.
going around you.
If it's to kill a bug.
I tell you what, the
Or a
mosquitoes,
mosquito.
dude. Did you get him?
No.
Now we got knife play.
Oh,
Oh.
geez, oh, Pete.
Or a mosquito.
I can shoot the wings off a mosquito.
Cat Respecter trying to
Can you
dog
use your microphone? Give me your microphone.
Cat Respecter trying to dog me. He doesn't realize I have a nice pole in my yard.
Dude, you do have a nice pole. We've talked
do
about
have
your
it.
pole.
We
and how-
talked about
Why
my pole.
don't you invite them to?
Larry's playing with butterflies.
Dude.
Hold on, I'm sure everybody else is dogging me. Hold on, George. Get in line, George. Everybody
like-
else is dogging me.
Why don't you invite them? Try your phone. I can watch.
It's huge.
Hey,
This is out of it.
we can make
we've
some good
lost
videos
control.
for you
Look
too.
at Shane over here. He's like, what the heck? Guy
He's like, dude.
You're right. $2,000.
He goes-
Cat. You're right, man.
Just Kelly had to.
Is anybody watching this show?
Did
I
you-
hope not.
He's like, I thought I was coming in to promote shit, but yes,
We'll get
Coffee got a bigger pole erected for $2,000.
No,
Some people
Yeah.
just take blue pills. You paid $2,000.
I paid
What?
$2,000 and it's fully erect all the time.
That is,
Shane's like, what
the
did I get
name
into?
is
I think 8 and 9 has seen my
Cat
pole.
Respecter.
You've met Cat Respecter.
Pinky
Cat
wants to
Respecter.
know.
It's much better to be Pussy Respecter instead of Cat Respecter.
Oh, geez.
That's too much on the nose.
We're going there now.
There
we
That's
go.
where we're at
I'll tell you,
now.
we're-
The microphone
George just
short
took us
circuited when
somewhere.
he said that.
So George, they're asking me to repeat and
We're not
reiterate
gonna.
what George said.
No.
No.
George George wanted
It
to know
was huge.
if there was another term for cat that could be used, like a blank respecter versus cat respecter, like a
Pussycat respecter.
I mean, they wear the pink hats for
Yeah,
the anti-Trump. No, not
Or-
cat. The pink hats.
The pink hat.
Or Pink Panther.
Right.
That was,
yeah.
that was
Something
one-
like this.
That was one of the most degrading thing I had ever seen for women.
To put the vagina
The
hats
pussy
on.
hat.
To-
No, don't
Yeah.
go too far now. We are not gynecologists here.
We're not gynecologists.
Hey, now when George, we have to give George.
I got a joke.
Gynecologists.
When George messes up words, he's got a complete pass. Kelly's got a joke, and Kelly. Yeah, on that note, Kelly says, "I got a joke." Go ahead, Kelly.
This doctor decided that he wanted to change career paths
Oh, okay.
because he just wasn't finding passion in what he was doing for a living. And so he decided he wanted to become a mechanic. And on one of his first big tests, he had to rebuild a carburetor. And he got his score back after he took his test, and he got 100% plus 50%, an additional 50%.
Wow.
And he went up to his professor, and he was like, or I guess his instructor, and said, I am super happy I got this, but
Yeah,
how did I get that
what?
extra? And he goes, I've seen a lot of people rebuild carburetors, but I've never seen them rebuild them through a muffler. What did you do before this? He was a gynecologist.
All right. Well, I think a third of our audience understood that.
Mm,
It was funny.
I got
A
it.
third
and
of our
I
understanding.
got it, and I'm the host, so it's good.
I got it when I got told it.
Cat Respecter says 100% on the carburetor. 100% on the carburetor
Uh-huh.
test.
It probably would help if you've been to a gynecologist to understand that.
I'll tell you what.
And I'd
I
say a
love-
third of our broadcast
you-
is probably the extent of that.
If you've
demographic.
never watched Robin Williams and Patch Adams, you are missing out, because at a certain point he gets put in charge of the gynecological convention at his school, and he literally puts a huge set of legs in
Yep.
front of the doorway with the vagina as the doorway.
I remember that scene.
With a banner above it, and it says, "Welcome, gynos. We're here to cervix you," or something like, or "We're at your cervix. We're at your cervix." And
the puns that you can
and they
come up
couldn't
with.
take, all the doctors couldn't take it, and it was hilarious, dude. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but they
have to
take off the shoes.
Yeah, did. I thought he was injecting something. I thought he was injecting something
I
important.
just said they have to take off the shoes when they go through the door.
Yes. Tim, did you click on that? I don't have the trackball
Yeah, I did.
to
I read it 2
unclick.
days ago.
If you're remoted into the other computer.
I was working on it, but
Okay. We're going to tell YouTube at this point
Bye-bye.
to go fuck yourself, because they might be offended by something else that we say as the show goes on. Oh, like this? Yeah, we got to turn that. They're gonna ban us.
no, they won't. No, it's not music.
All right.
Welcome to camp. Morning. Good to see you. How you doing, Doctor? Gentlemen,
this,
I
guys.
believe that you'll find the facilities here just perfect for your purposes today. We have everything set up in the auditorium.
This is a group
If you
of
just follow me in.
gynecological doctors coming to a summit at the college.
Here you guys go.
Welcome, gynos, at your cervix.
I remember this.
cold-handed ones.
Welcome,
It's an honor
cold-handed
to
one.
Greet/welcome so many who have touched so many women in such a powerful way. Come on in. Watch out. It's a little slippery. Come on.
Back when you could do things like that.
Dude. But if you know the backstory of Patch Adams, he was a real doctor, and he got into the medical because he wanted to help people, and he found it was very stoic and very, very sterile. And he said, "No, you got to literally talk to people and find out what." And so he messed with everything that he could, and actually the interviews behind the scenes, the real Patch Adams and Robin Williams they were two peas in a pod. They just were, the other scene that I love in that stuff is he's walking around where they want to build the Gesundheit Institute. They want to build their own institute for medicine.
Gesundheit is a health institute in German.
Yes, Gesundheit. But here it's when you sneeze. Oh, Gesundheit.
Gesundheit,
Yeah.
like
You're
God
saying
bless
health
you.
over here. Yeah. And so they're going to build this. He has this whole plot of land that he wants to build it on. And he's with this really wealthy investor. And the investor's lawyer is walking with him. And he finally turns around because the investor's going, no, this is going to have this. It's going to have that. It's going to be all this. Finally looks at Patch and he goes, Patch, you study proctology? He's like, yeah. So he goes, then take care of this asshole for me. Lawyers. Anyways, we're good on that. Who's going to bed?
Pinky. I don't see where we can drop. I don't see where we can drop a stream.
Pinky, I hope you feel
Click
better.
on it. Click on it.
It takes me to the stream.
Okay, go to all. Go to total. Go to the total up top. Same things, but it says total.
I can't click on them.
Shit. Go to the other one.
Yeah, I can't click on that.
There should be a way to disconnect it, but all right. Well, if we don't, whatever.
All right.
They'll just ban us. It's fine. I haven't been banned before. Wait, I have 3 times.
All right, whatever.
Pinky says she's not
About
feeling
the
well. Good
2020
night.
election being stolen.
Pinky says she's not feeling well. Good night, you fuckers. Thank you, Pinky. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love our people. Yeah. You know, at first when people tuned in, like from the political community, the new people that tuned in, they were like, Jeremy Cutts is too much. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm not full of shit like all the other people out there that act like, I'm holier than you because I don't cuss. Okay, but you're a negative asshole. So, I mean, you've got that above you. I mean, when people walk in here, they feel peace and love and they get a big hug. They walk into your place and they go, why do you gotta act? Why do you gotta be like that? Why do you gotta? All right, I've got it in the
Jeremy, while you're looking at my picture.
Just stop fucking
No.
showing me that.
Oh my
No, I
God,
want
that
to. This is
so
a serious
beautiful.
question. Only you can see this picture. I bet you I can get you some good equipment for like pennies on the dollar. You need some microphones, a light. You need
Coffee,
a
you
thing
realize
that
he's in the
says
middle of a show,
stirred
right?
thing.
We can talk about this after the show. You know,
He's
this, right?
fucking with me, is what he's doing. Hey, coffee.
Look
coffee.
at all the equipment we could get for
Coffee, I can break down all that.
beneath me.
All right, coffee, I can break down all of that equipment. I know, but I can get all that shit.
Back to you, fuckers.
Okay, Shane, you're here. You haven't been here in a while.
Yes.
What is forefront before we go to break? Let's see what are you thinking? You're in the initial thoughts. What's going on with you?
I am being a good girl.
What's going on with you as far as
Everything.
everything?
Well, Delegates for Trump, we have, over a dozen events coming up all throughout the state. We got 8 events up north alone to engage people. Come and sign up and become precinct delegates.
Off the top of your head, how many precinct delegate positions are open statewide?
I would say at least many hundreds are open.
So
every time,
what's a percentage? 30%? 40%?
Easily.
I know that in some states, it's upwards of 50, 60% are vacant because people don't know. They're not educated.
They don't know. They're not educated. So we're going around, we're educating them, getting them as much knowledge and learning about the process as possible, and in like a fun, welcoming atmosphere and fun events all throughout the state. So we have, we're having them all over.
Yep.
We're having the next one, I believe, is going to be in Grand Rapids on Thursday. And then we have one coming up in Jackson on the 20th. Then one coming up in Holland on the 19th, Jackson on the 20th, then South Lyon and Plainwell on the 22nd.
Okay.
So then we're going to be going up north and have some kind of last minute events coming up too, including one here, right?
Yeah. Let's get it done, buddy. So I'll ask you this question. So given some of the environments that we've seen, and we don't have to go into detail on it, but we've seen some things happen. You guys are still looking at other candidate positions throughout state and local politics, but it seems with this t-shirt, you guys have really just shifted to that. Not maybe shifted, but added that as a big part, because we didn't get a chance to talk before the show, but you're wearing that Delegates for Trump, so it seems pretty important to you that
Yes.
those delegates are far more important in the overall scheme of things than really some of the party positions, because if we don't have the grassroots grounded people, then we can't even support the good candidates that have been vetted, right?
Yeah, we need people who are, going to be willing to do the work to get those strong conservative candidates elected. So it begins by getting them involved at the most local level, and then getting support behind people in the primary. So right now the precinct delegate cutoff deadline is May 7th.
Okay.
So from that point on to August, it's going to be 3 months to do everything that we can to make sure that the most conservative candidates win in the various primaries. So on Thursday, I'm going to be going down to Adam Stockford's for state rep. He's running in Hillsdale. He's the mayor of Hillsdale. He's a strong constitutionalist. He's running against two people who are, I don't want to necessarily say rhinos. I don't know them personally, but they don't have the strong conservative record. So that's an open seat. That's one where we can get a strong Freedom Caucus type person in. So we want to make sure that activists are deployed to go hit doors for people like Adam Stockford. We want to make sure that I've been out knocking doors for Josh Powell for state representative. He's in a special election that's coming up next week.
Oh, really?
If he's able to win, then it's going to be a 50-50 tie. And a lot of the more insane things that the Democrats want to do is going to die in the House. They're going to be.
And we need that. They
need that
passed
seat
so
back,
much shit. And we lost what? They lost 2 Democrats who went to be mayors or some goofy.
They left. They hightailed it out of Lansing to become mayors and get more money, I guess, for being a mayor than being a lawmaker. So they bailed, and now it's at a deadlock. And if we get one of those 2 seats, if we get 2 of them, then Republicans have a slight majority. But if we get one of them, it's 50-50 tie, everything. And it's going to be a wrench in the gears, and
we've got to do that
sort of thing.
Because the red flag laws that we've gone over in the past year that they've passed, and even some of the other legislation that they've pushed through, has been atrocious. It's been. Did you guys see the 60-year-old gentleman that was confronted at his door? They confronted him to do a red flag seizure, and he said, "You're not allowed to be here. This is unconstitutional." And they said, "We need to seize your guns." And he went to reach for his gun. They shot him dead. No due process, no nothing. Shot him dead on the porch of his house. Unfucking believable.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Larry?
Where'd that happen at?
We'd have to pull it up.
Was that in Virginia?
All I remember was red flag and the age of this is a basically a grandfatherly type.
A couple of years ago?
No, just the other day.
Oh,
literally just the other day.
Oh,
yeah, seriously, the other day, a red flag law, and he's shot dead on his porch because he said, "You're not taking my guns." And when he went to reach in his pocket, the jury's still out on that, what he was reaching for, but it's assumed that he was reaching for his gun, and maybe he was reaching for his gun to pull it out and surrender it. But either way, he's dead.
Right.
All because of red flag laws. The red flag laws are one of the greatest affronts to that is the Gestapo coming to seize your weapons.
We now live in a country where if the police come to the door, you don't open the door. You talk to them through the door.
Correct, but they're going to come with a battering ram and bust your door down. What we've got to do is what Shane's talking about is flip these seats, get them back.
Well, right.
It takes the delegates getting there, because one of the responsibilities of a delegate is to get the word out to the rest of the people in their community as best they can, however they can. I choose to do it on my podcast. And sometimes it can be a little bit of an echo chamber, but there's some lefties that tune in. We just love you so much. You're just sweeties out there, and you're tuning into the show.
But on Saturday for Josh Powell, there was over 50 people who showed up to hit doors for him in Westland, Wayne, and Canton.
There we go. That's what I was going to ask him.
Yep. And there are people who I saw like, "Oh, wow, aren't you from the 2nd district? Aren't you from the 3rd district?" Drove 3 hours
to show up and support.
To show up and hit doors all day for Josh Powell.
And then people watching the show should realize, if you have family or friends in Westland,
in those districts,
Canton, where was the other one?
Wayne.
In Wayne, Is there any other cities? In
There is. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
some
but
smaller
those are
in
the ones
those
I've walked in.
cities, if you have friends there, if you have family there,
Mhm.
call them up and tell them that they need to vote for Josh.
Well, and that's the
And,
thing.
and that's
A lot of what gets publicized out there or put on display is people like me
Mhm.
and people like some of our lefty friends out there who are the most vocal. The average voter out there gets a little bit of information here or there, and they go, well, I like that guy. He seems like a nice guy. He's got a good name. And they go and vote. And you know what it takes to sway the 70% of the people out there? Is somebody knocking on their door or giving a phone call and saying, hey, do you really know what this candidate stands for? And when they go, oh, they stand for that? Oh, okay. My wife's very savvy. My mother-in-law are very savvy. But when I walk in the door, sometimes they go, we just got a mailer. And they go, what about this guy? And because I've done my due diligence, I've talked to Shane, I talked to Kelly, I talked to Larry. Every once in a while I talk to George. Not fucking coffee, but I talk with different people to get their input about different candidates to find out who they are. And I walk in the door and I go, well, this person is X, Y, and Z. Or this person's, phenomenal. They're doing this, they're looking at this, they're looking at that. They got a few flaws over here, they got some things over there, but they're a good person. And I literally, my mother-in-law and my wife, I don't think they spoiled it, but I think what did they do? One of their mail-ins before they sent because they've done mail-ins for the last couple of years. Before they did one of their mail-ins, it was sitting on the table, and they asked my opinion about a couple of candidates that were running in either primaries or the 2022 elections. So you don't, and that's in my own home. You don't realize the influence that you have, and you don't realize that just knocking on a door and saying, hey, I'm just another Michigander that's trying to get somebody in there that actually cares for our community and cares for who we are, and just helping somebody out and doing that. And that's the power of being a delegate, because the delegates are motivated generally. There can be cliquey, but they're generally motivated enough to at least be involved on that level. And then coming from 2-3 hours away to go and knock doors for somebody that they go, hey, this person's actually, and this, I want to say this on this note, you guys can comment on this or not, or we can move on. But nobody's perfect out there. I'm not perfect. Nobody at this table is perfect. Tim's definitely putting media together over there. He's not perfect, but
well, I've been on the rail camera for the last 5 minutes because I'm doing 5 jobs at once, and you apparently don't check to see that your buttons are working.
I didn't look
so they
up.
can change the fucking camera view.
It's my
fault.
So
we've been watching Trejo pick his nose while you've been talking.
Hey, ready for my close-up.
Yes, Mr. DeVille. So
Tim
break
is-
media is exporting.
Tim is perfect at playing Magic the Gathering, though.
Well, I
true.
learned 1 week of training doesn't make me perfect, but
it's pretty good. But what I'm saying is that we're not going to find perfect people to represent. And I was meditating on this today, and maybe you guys can chime in on this too. We're not going to find perfect people to represent, and I really thought about it. All right, here's my train of thought. So this is my brain. This is the type of things that I think about. I was talking with the Lord about it, and I said, the Lord in Scripture, He was really upset with the people, with the children of Israel, because they wanted a king. They said, we want to be like all the other nations, and we want a king. And He's like, this is not a good thing. And but they're like, we want a king, we want a king, we want a ruler just to tell us what to do, and we'll just obey, and we don't have to think about our own responsibility and our own authority and our own effect on what we're doing. So we just want a king to tell us what to do. And He's like, okay, you want a king? I'm going to give you a king, but he's gonna do this to you. He's gonna be mean to you. He's gonna do this. He's gonna be harsh to you. You sure you really want this? I want you to be independent people. And I said, so I walked it back from there, and I said, okay, Lord, if we walk it back from not wanting a king, not wanting this, I said, we get to a certain point where it's each individual person. Isn't that anarchy? Isn't that being in a place of no government whatsoever? And the Lord stopped me right there, and He said, I set up the family as the model. Yep. Father, mother, and children. And the father is the head of the household. He directs. and makes the final decisions. The mother is the chief counselor. She's the feedback. She's the one who then instructs the children. She's the one who maintains the household. She's the one who
ducks when God swings at the husband.
That's a good one. But then there's the children who also have feedback, but are also in the learning position. And he said, that's the divine model that I set up. And if you take that divine model of representation and you implement it, which I believe our founding fathers came the closest that we've ever had.
Actually, the city elders at the gates of the Jewish cities came the closest.
True.
Yes. That's the model that we then model our community governance over through an organization called City Elders. Yeah.
So,
Jeremy, I thought you said that the wife was the feed bag.
No.
Is that what you're laughing
I
at?
thought you said that. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, she's the feedback. She's so when you look at scripture and you look at the Holy, that's why you're tripped up. So when you look at scripture and it says that the Holy Spirit is the counselor,
only for the babies,
and the comforter. Those are the dynamics and attributes of the wife and the mother. She's the chief counselor and feedback. If you look at the mafia, what they have in the mafia had the consigliere,
yes,
and that was the guy that told he was the only one allowed to tell the Godfather, this is a bad idea, boss. It's a bad idea. And that's supposed to be the wife with her husband. She doesn't have to make the decision, the final ultimate decision that affects the whole household. She makes the decisions every day that affect the children, but she doesn't have to make that final decision. So she can stand back and have that quote unquote women's intuition to see things that the husband's not seeing. And that's such a powerful dynamic when you operate in that flow. You operate in that give and take, to where it's like he's not a dictator and she's not demanding that he take her advice. It's a partnership, it's an understanding, and it's a reflective of God. You know what I'm saying? I would never presume to tell God what to do, but at the same time, he doesn't dictate to me. He says, son, this is in your best interest to do it. So I was thinking about those dynamics of our representative government, our republic, and thinking about how important it is to have these delegates, because that's the first level of representation that we can have. I get voted upon. Every one of us as delegates get voted upon by the community. That's important. Any other thoughts?
I'm refraining from saying what I'm thinking.
Anybody else?
I did send you the Josh Powell's website, so if you pull that up, maybe later or whatever, but just because there's still a week left until the election.
Yeah.
A lot of Republican. It all depends on strong Republican turnout in the district, because it's going to be much lower turnout than it typically has been.
Okay.
Because it's a special election. So if we drive those people out, we can make a huge difference and we can win. So all hands on deck. Just make sure that all Republicans know that Josh is their guy, and we can do this. We can pull this off, and we can stop a lot of evil from happening in Lansing and stem the bleeding from the Whitmer gang and the Democrats.
Oh my
all the
God,
crazy
they're
stuff they're doing.
so demonic up there. They're just ridiculous, dude.
What do you have on the wall feed?
That is the Josh Powell that we're looking to. What district is he out of, Shane?
Oh, 25th.
25th.
Ooh.
Okay. Very good. So guys, go check that out. What's read the website. I'm multitasking, so I can't click on it.
With a strong commitment to serving the people of Michigan.
No. What's
Josh
the
URL? Is dedicated. Oh,
yeah.
the
What's
URL?
the URL? Yeah.
I believe it's powellformichigan.com.
Powellformichigan.com. Okay. Let's do that. And that's the
a
big
number
thing.
4, powell4michigan.com.
Yeah, and that's the thing about some of this stuff is there's a lot of big money out there. There's a lot of influential stuff out there, and what you got to realize is that the boots on the ground and talking one-on-one with other people can quite literally trump all of that big money and get the right people in positions who can influence and make the change. So check out Powell, the number 4 from Michigan, and see what that's going on. All right, we're going to take a break, guys, and we'll be back shortly, and we'll continue on with the show. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I'm going to go ahead and jump on real quick before we go to break and mute everyone else's microphone if I can, and give you the QR codes. Do this in the middle of the show just so that don't have to do it at the end of the show while they're all deciding to get refills and do everything else. Those QR codes are right here for our support. For the PayPal on the left is one-time contributions, and on the right is, and this is to the Heartland Fellowship Media Group, not to Josh Powell. I have the Josh Powell website up because as we rearranged cameras, we ended up doing a disconnect of the camera that does the whole man cave. So I didn't have a man cave shot or a long shot to go to. So those are the two QR codes there. If you want to contact us at the show, it goes through Larry. That is at his email address, which is an Outlook email. Let me pull that up and move it. Actually, I didn't realize it was at the bottom. The Outlook email is, this is my brain host at outlook.com. And we also then, other than giving through just scanning those QR codes and donating directly to the show, of course, we have our T-shirt website. You'll see an ad at the end of the break, which will be about 9.5 minutes. Go get yourself a refill or whatever. Let me throw up the break crawl and hit that media, and away we go.
This is the Christian Media Scope. Examples of political bias, fake news, and flesh and blood driven media. Animated by the spirit of Antichrist.
Without proof of the vaccine, you can't go into a pub, club, restaurant, gymnasium, anywhere at all. You can't travel, theatre. You can't even go into work. I mean, personally, I have to say, I don't even think that we should allow people on the streets unless they've had the vaccine.
We've tried the education, we've tried the carrot, we now move to the stick. If it takes time now, the time to find people, great. Let's start. Let's never go €100, make it £100, right? And it starts, and I tell you what, it's not 60, but let's make it 40 and above, starting on Monday, okay? Now, if we come round, knock on the door, and you can show on your phone, or you've got a letter or something, you've got an appointment, that's fine. But if you willfully oppose now, you're 40 and above, £100 fine in December, £100 fine in January, £200 in February, £300 in March. By the end of the year, you'll be spending about £1,000, and that might cut through your ignorance.
You've had your booster, and when you see people who will not take it, putting themselves at risk, it's said. How do you feel the same way I do? Does that make you angry?
It makes me angry, especially in America, where they talk about it's my right, it's my freedom. No, it's not, because you are a killer.
Don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the supermarket. Don't have the vaccine, you can't go to the ball game. Don't have the vaccine, can't go to work. You don't have the vaccine, can't come here. No shirt, no shoes, no service. That's where I think we should be right now.
Frankly, if you're not vaccinated at the moment and you're eligible and you've got no health reason for not being vaccinated, you're not just irresponsible. I mean, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. I mean, truthfully, you are. People have got to understand vaccination is going to be, in the end, your route to liberty.
If you're willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are an enemy.
We have to stop coddling the morons who will not get the shot. We start by calling them what they are. They are all snowflakes and cowards and idiots and losers. And most importantly, they are afraid.
Yes, I hear what you say about somebody exercising their freedom not to have a vaccine, and they're perfectly healthy. I don't want them sitting next to me in the theatre. I don't want them standing next to me at the theatre bar. I don't want them next to me or anywhere near me or even in the same carriage on the train. So, they can exercise their freedom by staying at home.
If you decide that you don't want a vaccine or a booster, then you can decide not to go to hospital however ill you get. And that Wait, that is your right.
So you
But
would
if you want
leave
to
the unjabbed at home to die if they had a heart attack, if they suffered from a stroke?
That's their choice.
Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
We need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway.
People who refuse to accept vaccines, I think the right response for them is not to force them to, but rather to insist that they be isolated.
Giving up your human rights is justifiable. It's justifiable to take away a person's bodily autonomy when you have a global pandemic.
Those who haven't had jabs but could have jabs need to have a badge saying unjabbed.
Really?
Yeah.
We just have to make people understand that, no jab, no life. And that's how it is.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Justin Trudeau, I thought he was kind of a cool guy. Then I started to read what he said. This is a couple of weeks ago. Or maybe this is September, but he was talking about people who are not vaccinated. He said they don't believe in science. They're often misogynistic, often racist. No, they're not.
That was not smart of him at all.
Right. He said, but they take up space. And with that, we have to make a choice in terms of a leader as a country. Do we tolerate these people? It's like, tolerate them. Now you do sound like Hitler.
If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's your choice. But don't think you can get on a plane or a train besides vaccinated people and put them at risk.
We're going to move to a situation where, to protect the health system, we're going to lock out people who are not vaccinated and can be. If you're making the choice not to get vaccinated, then you're making the wrong choice. You're making the wrong choice. And for safety's sake, and back to that point about how much work our nurses have to do, as this becomes absolutely a pandemic of the unvaccinated and we open everything up, it's not going to be safe for people who are not vaccinated to be roaming around the place spreading the virus. That's what they'll be doing.
Dank Ihrer Leistung ist das gelungen. Diejenigen, die hier gegen die Impfung protestieren, haben dazu keinen Beitrag geleistet und sollten eigentlich nicht hier sein. Sie haben den Beitrag geleistet und ich finde es eine Unverschämtheit, dass Sie noch die Stirn haben, hier die berechtigte Demonstration derjenigen zu missbrauchen, die gearbeitet haben, die es jetzt wieder tun, die wirklich belastet sind. Ihre Arbeit hat keinen Beitrag geleistet.
Emmanuel Macron said his government's vaccination strategy was to piss off the unvaccinated by continuing to make daily life more difficult. In an interview with the French newspaper Le Parisien, he is quoted to have said, "I'm not about pissing off the French people, but as for the non-vaccinated, I really want to piss them off."
This is my brain.
I'm going to go to the browser. Can I show the t-shirt website? Big Frog Brighton is the one who provides these shirts for us. So this is the website. We're going to go a little steampunk with the website for more Tuesday content, but I just wanted to bring you this. The apropos for what we're dealing with, the We Do Not Comply t-shirts, $21, either the safety orange or safety green are available right now at $21 a pop. The safety orange comes in a black shirt with orange or green.
Kind of sexy.
Yep, they're tight. I love those. Okay, and then at the top of the page, you can just go back to the safety green. That's where you get the full green shirt. Mr. Yuck reminds me of Mr. Yuck. Classic Mr. Yuck.
That's
for
awesome.
Poison. And then
Look
your
at that
white
one.
shirt.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That one's tight. Errol, let me bring that up. There we go.
You can wear that on a job site.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're, if you need
And
to-
piss people off for not wearing a mask.
Exactly.
And then if you want to like say, hello, I'm here. That's a loud orange. So just do that one. That's full orange on.
I like the orange.
The Ready Right Drinky Drink are always my favorite. I wear
yeah.
a purple. I love sand though. I might have to order a sand.
It's
Look at
beautiful.
this sand with the pocket logo. I might have to go with that.
The Ready Right Drinky Drink Show.
Yep.
Woo-hoo.
I love when the ladies do that. And of course, our classic, the classic logo is the steampunk logo we're going to be going with. Comes in the black and the different colors of gray that are available. And then if you want to support our 2A movements,
Yeah.
you get the 3 printed 2A.
Oh, there it is. That's a great one
with
right
the
there.
pocket logo. And then
Is that a
the
heather gray?
back. This one's not the heather. Here, let me pull up the heather.
The last one.
The heather is this one. It's a little lighter.
Yeah.
And that little
Oh,
lighter
nice.
gray with the pocket art with the pocket logo in the sleeve. That's that.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. so that
Mr.
little
Coffee saying he sold his already for a profit on eBay.
nice.
Appreciate
Way
that.
to go.
No, he's gonna make it a cottage industry. He buys
Way to
it
go.
from us,
No,
and
good
then
job,
he sells
good
them
job.
secondary.
They might put it. All right, we're back, and my ears are loud. All right, there we go. There we go. Thank you. Do I have a fresh? Don't come on, man.
It's coming. There you go.
You know what I want to do? I want to thank God right now that Larry was way over there during the break fumigating and did not bring it back to the table. I think the rest of us could be thankful for that. He was doing that. Listen, I want to make this statement. I want to read this proverb. It's on your guys' notes here. Proverbs 17, 13, and 14. Evil will never leave the house of one who pays back evil for good. Verse 14, starting a quarrel is like breaching a dam, so drop the matter before a dispute breaks out. There are some people around that are repaying evil for good, for goodwill. And I've learned a long time ago, Galatians 6:6, God cannot be mocked. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And so I just want to put that out there, that watch how you interact with people, even people you perceive to be on the wrong side of things with you. Because how you interact with them says more about you than it does them. Far more. And I was listening to Proverbs the other day. I was just meditating. I needed to get out of my head on a lot of stuff. And I literally just turned out. So what I do now, so I used to read a proverb a day according to the date, and then I expanded it. So today is the 9th. So I would read Proverbs 9 when the Lord first started telling me this in my teens. And then expanded. And I would read Proverbs. If it was the 9th, I would read 8, 9, and 10. And then tomorrow I'd read 9, 10, and 11, right? And
For those who don't know, there's
31 Proverbs.
One proverb, so
There's
you can
31
fit it into a
Proverbs. So
month.
you
Yeah.
can read. So if you miss a day, no harm, no foul. You just you look up the date and you go, oh, okay, today's the 9th. I can read the 9th. I missed a couple of days. I was busy, whatever, life happens. And so Proverbs is extremely practical. You read chapter 1, you know what it's about, for attaining words of insight, for listening to the sayings and riddles of the wise, for attaining a good life. So you read the context of what Proverbs is. And so now, with the advent of some technology, I have been listening to the Bible on cassettes or on MP3s or now on my phone for 20 years. When they had the Bible on cassette, I had a cassette player, and I had my own set of New Testament cassettes, and I could pop them in and just listen to scripture. Not 8-track. The fuck you. Anyways, but now I can just hit my playlist and I can listen to Proverbs in about 45 minutes, the entire book of Proverbs. But there'll be moments when the Lord just draws my attention, stops me in my tracks. Because a lot of times when you're hearing it, you're not like totally paying attention. But then all of a sudden you just zone in on it. And I was working the other day, and I just zoned in on this one. And actually I was listening to, this is NIV, what I just read to you, but it was in New King James. So New King James phrases it like this: he who repays evil for good, evil will never leave his house. So the NIV says evil will never leave the house of one who pays back evil for good. And they can play with the little bit of the word structure, the sentence structure of that, and not get it wrong in their interpretation, because Hebrew is read from right to left, whereas English is left to right. And there's no punctuation, there's no spacing between letters. So you have to really not be a great big scholar, but you have to be able to see the letters. And Hebrew letters are very pictorial. So there's a dynamic there. But either way, the sentiment is that when you repay somebody that did something good for you, for whatever offense that you got, some bug up your ass, and you repay their good, their genuineness with evil, evil takes up residence in your house. And I just want to put that out for some people, man. I give a shit about myself. I mean, I care about myself, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, I'm not trying to say, don't fuck with me. I'm saying you're messing with yourself when you do shit like that. I go out of my way to be kind and be a peacemaker and mediate between friends or foes or do other things. And when I do something good for somebody and then they turn around and they try to, and I go, why? Why are you? Don't you realize these principles in Scripture there are certain things that are just absolute, right? And people don't get this, and that's one of the things that I want to do on this show on a regular basis is try to just teach a little bit here and there. I don't want to turn it into a church service, but I want to let people know, look, man.
Speaking of church service,
yeah, you're on, buddy.
Charlotte, which I'm not making fun of church or something, but I did see that, Charlotte, about Dearborn people chanting death to Americans and stuff.
I was going to draw attention to that. Thank you.
And
when I
bet you something's going to happen.
When I saw the video, I don't know about you guys. Did you see the video?
No.
Okay, so
yes,
Shane, you saw it. Coffee, you saw it. Who else saw it? Did you see the video of them in Dearborn chanting "Death to America"?
Mm-hmm.
You saw it. Larry, did you see it? You didn't see it. Okay. So just a couple days ago, was it 2-3 days ago? They're up there doing their thing, and somebody in the crowd's like "Death to America," and nobody says,
Yeah, I heard about that, and I saw little clips of it, but
Yeah.
I didn't see the.
And
see the
it
whole
was
thing.
interesting. I watched
But
some
we're
of the-
getting a view. We understand that we are getting a true view of what Democrats really stand for.
Well, but this is the Muslim community.
Now they're just more vocal.
Correct, but this is the
They're
Muslim
coming out.
Right, but this is the Muslim community in Dearborn. But you're right, because I was watching InfoWars and they pulled up clips from 2015, 2016, where they were shouting "Death to America," and now it's fully embraced in the Muslim community right here in Michigan. And when I saw the video, I was so pissed off that I had the initial thought of, I'd like to get in my truck and just drive down there and walk into any of the stores that are on and go, and play the video and go, is this your belief? Coming to this country with the freedoms that are provided for you to be in this country? Because if you oppose the government in the countries you came from, you are murdered. If you're gay, lesbian, all the LGBTQ alphabet mafia in those countries, they throw you off a building.
Well,
they don't tolerate your shit.
It's like
there.
all these liberals that are supporting Palestine. They would be thrown off the top of the building.
Well, here's another problem that what you're talking about, the liberals, that 18-year-olds just arrested, I think today or yesterday or something in Idaho.
Yeah.
Swear by FBI for swearing allegiance to ISIS. So you have the wackos that will take any, like right now with the Dearborn Muslims or whatever, or what's happening in Israel, and you have some little skinny white guy in a flag that was going to knock out his dad, take all his weapons, and go down to churches and start killing people. And he's just a little libtard. But it was just in Idaho or something the other day, yesterday or today, you know. And they're brainwashed, and they're, you know, by this, you know, Bet to America or something. You got some loser with a blue tail sticking out their ass decides to do something. Anyway.
No, I get that.
It's coming.
So that was a huge thing. All right, so let's go roundtable and talk about this. Larry brought it up, and he sent me the thing. NPR editor rebukes their own outlet, saying, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
Right.
Did I give you that, Tim, or no? I don't think I gave you that. I did not give you that one. Larry, you sent that to me direct.
Yeah, it's
Let
going
me
to be in.
see where it's at. There's, dude, you send me too much shit. See, you got to scroll back through all this shit.
Scroll back.
Don't scroll back. That was last week. Oh my God, it's so disgusting. You guys out there in the audience, you didn't get to see this. So let's cut to my feed there too. NPR editor rebukes own outlet's coverage of Hunter Biden. What's the margin? Is it 16, 17%? No, it's up to 19%. 19% of Biden voters. What's the number? That's not right. It was significant enough that if
they knew.
Oh,
if
you're
the
talking,
Biden voters,
that's what you're talking
correct.
about.
If the
5% of Biden voters said if they'd have known about the
was it
Hunter
5?
Biden
I thought it was like 7.
No, 5. 5% of Biden voters said that they would have either voted for Donald Trump or not voted at all if they'd have known about the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Which would have been 17 million votes or something like that. Whatever.
Well, it's what I talk about a lot because sometimes we as Republicans forget that election fraud, although it happened, you know, we all agree that there was election fraud and there was ballot harvesting. Then there was irregularities like mad in the last election. But I have maintained that on top of that, even worse, was the Hunter Biden laptop story, because I believe from the numbers that I saw that even with all the Democrat cheating, Trump would have won if not. You take 5%.
So you're saying
you take 5% away off the top from Joe Biden right now.
Right.
Take that away from his last election.
Yeah.
Trump wins in a landslide.
So well, and that's
even with all the fraud that we.
So a lot of the people, they go to the voting machines, they go to all the other stuff, and the reality is, you go, look, if the media and Zuckerberg hadn't suppressed the Hunter Biden, that alone, they can't overcome.
No, as
with
much
any
cheating as they did in the last election, if the Hunter Biden laptop story would not have been pressed, and the FBI told Zuckerberg and all these other social media platforms to hush that story, right?
Didn't he dump $400 million into Facebook to suppress all sorts of shit?
You know, probably a lot more than that. I don't have a number.
Suck a buck.
Yeah.
What the hell are you looking? Can you not pull that shit up?
That's why I constantly tell people you have to overwhelm the cheat. You know, Democrats are going to cheat in elections. We know that going into it.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to make sure we show up in such huge numbers that they can't cheat.
They can't cheat, and
they can cheat.
That's what we're trying to do.
Win. But a lot of people that I talk to, and a lot of very good people, you know, they're disheartened. They tell me, "Oh, well, you know, Larry, you know, what's the point? Democrats are just going to cheat." Well, that's the point. That's why you need to vote no matter what.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, you need to get out and vote. You need to take some friends with you, because the Democrats, we know they're going to cheat in elections.
Yeah.
So we have to overwhelm the cheating.
In person, day
day
with
of.
your own pen.
Right. Oh, that was one. Tim, did I send you that one? The states that, or the countries that do in person. Did I send you that one, or did I just still have it in my bookmark? I didn't send it to you.
I got a question for Shane in a second.
Go ahead. Well, let's do this. I know George picked up the microphone. George, what do you want to say before we move forward?
I know that the Democrats are going to cheat, and the situation right now that they are not saying any word. They are very well prepared, and they have from the last election, they did a lot of studies, and they know how many people do they have in their side, and how many people die, and how many people doesn't exist anymore.
And how many people they've replaced this with.
Yeah, they are going
Huge.
even. This is what I'm afraid that will happen. Even those, if the Republicans will win in a couple of days by pushing mail-in ballots that they already probably have in some warehouse over there, and they don't need to worry to print it the last days.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to push all that.
Oh, you're talking about the 3 a.m. ballot dump?
Yeah.
Has anybody looked into Sheriff Dar's thing about Serbia being involved in the 2020 election?
And like I'm
There were
saying,
Serbians involved in the 2020
I don't doubt it.
election.
They farmed it out.
He has it documented.
I understand they documented, they did everything. The solution, I'm looking for solution for Republicans,
right,
to try to stop as much as they can all those mail-in ballots to go to the post office.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to control the post office, but who controls the post office? It's the government.
The hard part
what
is
I do as a truck driver is I fill out the ballot application,
mm-hmm.
and they mail me the ballot. I vote, and either me or my wife takes it back to the clerk's office and hands it to him. That way we know there's no issue.
It doesn't stop ballot dumps.
Yeah, it doesn't stop right there.
Right. We've got to eliminate.
They know that they have. Let's
And
take
it's
for
not
example
just,
Michigan.
So the ballots aren't even. It's when we vote, the machines are connected to the internet. They've lied and said they aren't, but they're now said now are documented in court saying yes, they are connected to the internet. When the numbers get plugged in to be sent to the main office, basically, there's a key. The cots go up in the air, they go to where they're supposed to go, they come down, the key is used to pull them, extract them, and that's our numbers for who voted at this precinct and this precinct and this precinct.
Yep.
What's happening is once that thing's been stuck in to send to the main clerk, it's being corrupted mid-air.
Yeah.
That's where we get those big spikes from in the computer system when they're showing us on
I know.
It's got nothing to do with ballots. All they're doing with the ballots is backflushing the numbers they've adjusted for, because they can adjust the software however much they need to adjust the software to get whatever candidate it is they're trying to get into office. If it's 5%, 2%, 3%, just enough to make it look like it's legitimate, they can adjust that in air before it gets to the county clerk's office.
And let's make an assumption that Republicans won't win and liberals will win again. Now Trump was going to go again, or people are going to go again, and they cheated in the election. And what will happen? All mainstream media is saying is the same story that we hear again and again and again.
It's the same cycle.
Yeah, so you are going to see the same bullshit, and even now coming stronger, because they have the backup from the first time. They are going to say, oh, the first time they said we cheated. Here we are again, and the second time we cheated again.
Until the first
and
one.
this is our they are going to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Until the first one's heard, nothing will. I personally sit in the ballpark of no election will ever be legitimate again.
No,
because the first one wasn't, and I don't believe that was the first one. I believe they've been doing it since the original guy flipped the software in the late 90s down in Florida, hanging chads.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's been.
They've been perfecting it in other countries. Ukraine, 2014. They've been perfecting it in other countries to bring it here and be able to implement it here. COVID was their implementation. Hey, we got something that's going to increase the mail-in ballots and make it so we can see how this works. All these people are going to get locked up in their homes and be terrified because we've done another thing to terrify the masses to keep them complacent.
But
I ask
in
Shane,
European countries, let's go to Germany, France, Italy, and all of this.
And that's part of what I want you to have.
They don't expect the mail-in ballot doesn't count over there.
No.
It is the vote day is, or the time is over. Let's see what we have right now is no mail-in ballot.
Right.
Done.
Right.
And we are only one that
but they still have
they
the
play
software.
this way. Yeah, I understand. Software is a different story. But do you know we're talking about those thieves that are going in West Bloomfield and all the other places? Do you know what they do to alarm system?
Mm-hmm.
They jam the alarm system.
Where are they getting
can-
the money for all that?
Huh?
Where are they getting the money for all that?
You can get the jammer. I don't want to tell you where, but if you
They
look hard,
have full backpacks. It's not
This
just
guy knows.
jammers, though. They have
if you
full
look hard,
backpacks.
you can
of-
find. So put the jammer in every voting place.
Yeah.
And let them count by hand that.
Right. Well, and that's what I was trying to find out. Apparently, this computer doesn't have my correct login for Twitter, but so I saved the bookmark and I have it here on my phone, but I can't somehow I'm not unable to send it. But literally, the countries that have banned. The hell is that?
It's for you.
The countries that have banned anything but same day. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to show this. Give me the overhead, Tim. A man cave. It's the top corner. Earlier in the show. Shit. Whatever. Earlier in the show, we told you about it. That's the Down syndrome kid that's been drafted into the Ukrainian army that they tormented and punched and were ridiculing his own fellow soldiers. Makes me sick. Fucking assholes. And people go, how can you be a believer and stay fucking asshole? Well, I just did. Because that guy's a piece of shit. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the F-bomb being dropped. Appreciate that. People who don't want a border wall, just for a note, cartels, human traffickers, MS-13, drug smugglers, terrorists, and Democrats. Let's see. The last 5 shooters. Colorado Spring shooter identified non-binary. Denver shooter identified as trans. Aberdeen shooter identified as trans. Nashville shooter identified as trans. Philadelphia shooter identified as trans. See a pattern? Do we see a pattern? The Perry school Perry
Stop
shooter.
picking on trans.
Trans. So I was.
Don't worry, the ones with the blue tails are off.
Yeah, but I was scrolling through my bookmarks because I bookmarked the ones that were the countries, the first world countries, the developed countries around the world that have banned anything other than same day paper ballots in their countries because of the fraud, because of all that stuff. There it is. Thank you.
I got a question for Shane.
Non-binary, trans, but nothing to see
I'm just
here.
quivering in anticipation of this question.
I'm waiting. I'm being like.
All right. I know you have a question. I
Yes.
can multitask. Is it pertinent to my
Yes.
train of thought? Okay.
Yes, it is pertinent to what we've been talking about for 10 minutes.
Ask the question.
I don't have my earpiece in, Tim,
All right,
just
good.
for that reason. Oh, hey, what is your thought on how far do you think the dark side will go getting closer and closer to the election if they feel like, because they do know, we do know Trump isn't going to play this time if he gets in. How far do you think in this time they could go?
Well, I mean, last time they released the bioweapons, so
right.
I don't want to really speculate, but you would think, some sort of false flag type situation. Conservative right winger does this. Some deep fakes. I mean, they got a lot of things that they could do. So I expect them to try to do it. Maybe some event that sets off a bunch of riots and blah blah blah. I've heard there's bird flu stories that are in the news. So maybe the flu's the cow flu. Who knows? Mad cow disease. Who knows?
But I want to.
Could be anything. But you just got to fight through it, and you got to. And I think the most important thing to do to stop fraud is sign up as I've signed up as a poll worker. You need to sign up as not a poll challenger, poll worker, so that you can oversee these ballots and do everything that you can to at least slow down the process.
And you're not manipulating anything as a as a poll worker. You're literally standing there and make sure the procedure follows protocol. What were you going to say, Kel?
I don't remember now.
Well, but I was saying, jumping on what you were saying, Shane, is that we looked at the boat. We talked about the ship crashing into the bridge, and what the ramifications are there. Did their computers get overtaken and they lost control momentarily? There's 2 minutes of blackout on their black box. There's all sorts of shit going on with that.
I remember now.
Okay, I'll come back to you. But they hyped up the eclipse, the 19 seconds of blackout here. Oh, there are states that called out their National Guard to be unaware. It's like, what do we? And so whether they actually pull a false flag, they're definitely ramping up multiple events. And then when events happen, nobody pays attention. I got on our channel. What was it? What day was it? Friday? Whatever day it was. How many people know there was an earthquake in New Jersey that went up the whole coast? Of course.
In New York.
Kelly and our bartender. Shane knew. Okay. Very few people knew unless you were there. How many people knew that it was precipitated 2 days before that with a huge earthquake in Taiwan that's going to affect all of the chip manufacturers and fuck all that up? Of course, my audience, of course. So when I get on there and go, guys, this follows a pattern just naturally that if there's an earthquake in Taiwan, whether it's manufactured or not, because
they're harping us good.
They're harping us good. And then it all of a sudden travels enough to where it hits New York. There are some huge prophetic words out there about there being a mid-fault earthquake, which happened back in the 1800s and caused the Mississippi River to reverse flow for an entire day and caused ships to be bounced out of the river onto the shore. This is historical fact, okay? All of this shit. And I got on there for 15 minutes or 10, 15 minutes and said, hey, I don't care whether this actually happens, but following the pattern of Taiwan to New York, there could be another earthquake that happens mid. Do you have your go bag? Do you have your things? Do you have your stuff? Kelly's talked about her go bag. I put my go bag. Her go bag's much better than mine. But I warned people about that. And our good friends over at the Brainworm put a tinfoil hat on me and said, look at these retards. Okay, well, you'll be knocking on your neighbor's door who actually prepared for whatever it is, a tornado, a power outage, whatever it is. We'll be the ones who are prepared, not out of fear.
Restraining orders on them.
Not all of
Just
it.
saying.
All right, so Kelly, what were you thinking on that line of?
Just that we're currently living a false flag. I mean, we have over 90 food manufacturing companies that have gone under. They're completely just murdering, based on viruses, our livestock. Chickens,
If they can't murder them based on a false test for livestock,
it's not just that,
they're burning down the facilities.
It's that, and then on top of it, no other countries are shipping their meat to us any longer. So now we have no meat being shipped to us. We have no meat being grown here, and we have some kind of disease again. And that's the other thing. Okay, so 100 years before this last COVID, right?
Yeah.
Oh, now we get the N1 whatever 5923 BMAT whatever bird flu.
Right.
That this one's going to be the big killer. And it's like they've got to keep us in constant perpetual fear. They're depleting our food storages. He won't refill our gas storages.
We're at
because
17 days right now.
High.
We're 17
They're
days.
manufacturing the crisis of need and want. And what's going to happen, much like with the toilet paper shortage of 2020, is people are going to lose their shit.
Right.
And then because they're trying to poke the bear and get a civil war started. They want crazies like the mama bear.
Not the mama bears that are candy asses like you're talking about.
No, that one. That's who I'm talking about.
Oh,
I mean,
those
want
candy
those
asses are going to lose their shit.
to poke, and then they want our side to poke and poke, and there shouldn't be sides. Humanity should be the side, but right now, this is where we're at.
I will say on that note, and I got three follow-up questions just on your whole dialogue there. But I will say on that note, when you see a true crisis come through, it's amazing to watch humanity rally together and put down their bullshit and get together. That happens.
Well, we saw that in 9/11.
Correct. It happens.
We saw everybody became Americans until Democrats became
right.
retards.
But I'm saying even community wide, if you have a tornado that hits a community or you have a major catastrophe that hits a community, you watch people coalesce and put down their bullshit and work together. And that's one of the things that gives me so much hope on all of this.
No one talks about the tornadoes that took place down south during 2020, and they were it was literally just community. Everything was COVID.
Yep.
And those people had no assistance, no help, and it literally was their surrounding communities.
Do you remember when
her
Hurricane Katrina came through?
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing all of the FEMA trailers sitting in lots rotting, the trailers rotting, because the government infrastructure couldn't get the trailers to the actual people who need it, and yet the communities rallied and came together and helped each other and made their way out of it. And it wakes a lot of we got butt judge.
Was Katrina the one that landed in New Orleans?
No, it didn't land in New Orleans.
Which one landed in New Orleans?
It hit landfall before that.
Yeah.
And what happened in New Orleans?
Katrina,
No. New Orleans is
right now
under water.
The entire government.
Right. It's under sea level.
It's under sea level.
So the dikes failed.
Correct. The water, but it didn't have to hit it.
Hey, we don't need that kind of language on here.
We don't say that dikes failed.
Oh, sorry, Dana Nessel.
You're not allowed to use those words. They're
pumps-
hurtful and mean, and they harm me.
Listen, Larry, the pumps failed.
Oh.
So the high heels didn't work right.
I remember, speaking of conspiracy theories, when that happened, all my Democrat friends told me that George W. Bush had a secret weather machine and a remote control.
Of course.
And he caused the hurricane with his secret weather machine.
Maybe.
And then he used a remote control explosives to blow the dikes.
And they were right. They were right.
Yeah. Well,
they're right.
Yeah. It was funny when they told me that. And they call us conspiracy theorists.
Well, here's the thing.
But they were right.
They weren't right.
They were right.
They were right.
No, they were.
Yes, they were.
There's no weather machine.
Yes, there is.
Larry,
Are you fucking serious
Are you
right
serious?
now?
When did you take the blue pill, Larry?
Come on, Larry. They developed
Tennessee
weather.
just passed a bill for geoengineering in the sky. They literally just passed a bill saying
They
no more
developed
spraying in
weather
the sky.
weapons during Vietnam to seed the
Popeye.
clouds to drown out
Project
the Ho Chi Minh
Popeye.
Trail. And all of the major countries in the world after Vietnam signed a weather weapons treaty that they would not use weather weapons on each other.
So they sold it to non-government organizations who deploy it for their own personal gain and whatever. Let's make a clear day for a football game. Let's make a clear day for a baseball game. Let's make it rainy on this day because we need the rain.
Or let's make sure our hill has enough snow. So let's send up a plane that seeds the clouds over top of our thing.
And in the domes of Antarctica, we can cause tectonic plates to shift,
There's a
causing
picture for
volcanoes
you.
to go off.
Wait. Is that
HARP?
Oh, HARP.
HARP.
High altitude aurora. Say it. High altitude aurora
borealis.
I don't
Aurora.
understand why you don't believe
I can't remember the acronym.
Radio.
They're heating the ionosphere.
They're right.
They're heating they're able
Your
to
Democrat friends
target
were right. Yes, they were.
signals
were.
into the
Just 'cause they were
ionosphere
Democrats
to
doesn't make them
change
always
weather
wrong.
patterns.
No, they're wrong 99.999.
I'm just saying.
And they were
Tim?
wrong about
They were
that.
right about that.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they
Is
were.
that DARPA stuff, Tim?
No, not DARPA. This is up in Alaska.
This is another evil
HARP
shit.
is what he's
HARP
asking is HARP is DARPA. Yes.
Oh,
DARPA.
HARP
right.
is under the DARPA umbrella.
I was going to say you wouldn't.
Whoa.
Ah.
Don't hit that button. We're not closing yet.
No, it's not the closing.
Oh, yeah, do
We've
you
said
guys
too much
know-
truth. We gotta get out of here.
Do you guys know that Band-Aids
Shut it
are
down.
toxic?
Yes.
It's the brake media.
Yeah, so if you put Band-Aids on you, you're literally putting carcinogens directly into your bloodstream.
Correct.
What are the hospitals going to do when people find out?
Nothing.
The same thing that the dentist
Hospitals
did
don't
with
use
fluoride.
Band-Aids.
Put more Band-Aids on.
Put more Band-Aids on. So there's a lot of stuff out there. One of the questions I asked people is I go, wait a minute, they lied over here, they lied over there, they lied over here, but they're telling the truth here? No, they fucking lie.
Did you see the new Apple
father
movie?
lie.
The new Apple movie coming out on the fake moon landing?
Did not.
Yeah, there's a new Apple movie coming out. Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to
yes,
the moon.
Great song. That is literally about a fictional. I'm air quoting. I don't know. Sorry, I have my webcam on.
You don't have to webcam.
Fictional story of a female producer that produces a reenacted backup version of the moon landing just in case they quote unquote need it.
I wasn't allowed to talk to my grandpa at Christmas about any of that.
About the moon landings?
I was forbade.
Oh no.
I mean, the
He
moon
was-
landings are totally
he
real
worked
if
for
you
NASA.
speed them up. I love the quote from or not the quote, but the video from Neil Armstrong when the 8-year-old asked him, she's like, why haven't we gone back? He goes, that's not a question for an 8-year-old. That's a question that I have because we actually never went, and I want to know why we never went. And you go, all right, is this senility or is this guy revealing the truth? Because
Called swimming pool.
yeah.
And
Anyways,
fishing line.
we can't get into conspiracy theories because Larry's giving us a stink eye over there.
My mom said,
Oh,
do not
shit.
say a word to your grandpa about your whole moon landing thing. Do not.
People
and I
go-
was like, why? And she was like,
She's
he
like-
worked for NASA. You cannot talk. He was,
Dude, there are people that made a bolt for a thing that they thought went shipped over and they go, well, I was there and it was part of it. I'm like, okay, because you made a bolt for that manufacturing doesn't mean that that bolt actually went into space. And then you hear the head of
part,
NASA
was
say,
it on the
I
lawn
walked
chair or the umbrella?
I walked in the house the other day and my wife's watching TV and I look and it's the guy from Waco. What was his name?
David Koresh.
David Koresh.
David Koresh.
Jeremy's
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah, and
the fuck.
I saw him get brought in for, was it David Koresh? No, it was the other guy, the
Yeah.
bomber.
The
Unabomber, Ted
Yeah.
Kaczynski.
Yeah. David Koresh, when the government murdered him, and my wife was watching that, and
was that the Netflix series?
She was watching it on Fox News, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, so it was propaganda.
Yeah. So no, it was they.
You go back and read those manifestos.
Yeah, David Koresh was a crazy guy.
He
was a crazy guy, but
He
that's
was.
not justification to murder someone.
Of course
Well,
not.
and the reality
You know,
was
and
they
it's-
could
He
have
wasn't a
arrested.
threat.
They could have arrested him at any point.
Right.
The local sheriff in his county frequently was at the compound drinking tea on the front porch with him.
Yeah.
There was no reason to do what they did except Janet Reno and the Clintons needed an event in order to push the agenda.
They wanted to make a statement
what they
against
do.
the rising patriot movement in America.
like 9/11 and the Patriot Act.
Ruby
Exactly.
Ridge, all of that
Thing.
shit.
Yeah. See, they came.
OKC,
They
inside
came to
job.
Fort Hood
Correct.
and got that tank.
You just got
The
us.
Kardashians.
I mean, that right there just got us kicked off YouTube. Thanks, Shane. Between you and Kelly, 9/11 and OKC being
yeah.
inside jobs, you told
Big time.
fuck.
Got us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, just
How do you know that?
I just know I can feel it that
Oh,
YouTube's freaking the fuck out right
You
now
know
that we
what?
expose their shit.
I looked up a Dumbs video on YouTube the other day.
Yeah.
Deep underground military bases.
Thank you. I was just going to clarify.
And then I was watching this thing on Antarctica and the underground tunnels and stuff like that they're
mean-
really not allowed to videotape. And then
Hitler's
the next
retirement
thing,
home. Yeah, Antarctica. Yeah.
The next thing that I looked up was it was about HARP.
Yeah.
And it was Project Bluebeam.
Yes.
Yep. Bluebeam.
So
Yep.
I YouTubed this Project Bluebeam video, and the whole thing was blurred. I could hear it, but I
But it was
couldn't see
blurred out?
it. The whole thing was blurred. You could see
Dude.
the edges that they didn't blur
Right.
and the movement and stuff, but the whole thing was. I was like, the next thing that because somebody that I do listen to online she's very good with getting local stuff done, had posted a link to this Project Bluebeam stuff, and so I was like, okay, so I'm looking, and
Isn't it funny? How many of the things have you come across that you're like, why is this blocked out? And then you click on it and you're like, why did you block that out?
Because
There's
Project
some shit
Bluebeam
nowadays
can
that you're
be
like,
deployed.
But I'm just saying, no, I just saw something the other day that was totally innocuous, and it was like, this content's been hidden, and I click on it and I go, and it was a cartoon.
I
Somebody
just-
posted. I was like,
Yo, I
No,
see that all the
this you
time.
couldn't even
Yeah.
click on. It was YouTube blurred it. It was blurred by YouTube. Blurred.
well, did you see Trump?
No.
The late
When they cut the clips.
one of the latest Trump speeches, he points out election interference. Did you guys catch this?
Mm-hmm.
YouTube's algorithm automatically cut it.
Yeah, the AI can do
And
it.
unless you went to Rumble, the crazy thing was, I was watching it on InfoWars because sometimes I tune into Trump speeches, sometimes I don't. But InfoWars was just covering the speech, right? And they're watching the speech, and then when Schroyer stops, he goes, "Did that just blip in real time?" And he's listening to the control booth, and they're like, "I think so." And he goes, "Well, pull up another feed from somebody else, some other channel." And they pull up a feed from somebody else from another YouTube, and it played all the way through. And then they went to air it live after they previewed it in the studio behind the scenes, and they play it live, and it blips almost at the same point. It was a little bit slightly different, but it cuts out the main thing where Trump's saying the election was stolen. And he finally was like, do we want to go to the Rumble feed that hasn't been cut, or do we want to analyze the fact that they're cutting this shit in real time when we're trying to play it over the air? And it was across the board, every YouTube that, like, number of different outlets, YouTube outlet, you know, people that, on YouTube that were playing the thing.
I would like
when they went to play it
revisit-
online, cut. What?
I'd like to revisit Project Bluebeam.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you know what that is?
Explain it to the audience. I do know what it is, but
Okay.
explain it to the audience.
Project Bluebeam, holographs.
Mhm.
You know, when you're watching Star Wars and Princess Leia is like, "Help me, Obi-Wan, help me." They have holographs too now that you can physically touch, smell, feel, and it speaks to you. That holograph is a real, legit thing. And a lot of people don't believe that that's true.
Right.
So I was talking to a girl the other day about, you know, how that video was blurred out. She is not like me in the conspiracy rabbit hole thing. And I asked her, have you ever seen what that looks like? And she said no. So I pulled up a video of, I don't know if you guys have like seen the giant Barbie in China that was coming out of the Barbie box.
No, that gets suppressed so that nobody sees it, so they can't call it into question.
If you look in other countries, they have people like, I like Snapchat because I can go to different countries and look on people's snaps and you can see this stuff and
Right.
screen record it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, they had whales flying through the sky. So I'm showing her this and people are videotaping it as these whales. These are projections.
Right.
They can project. God, they can project
Almost everything.
almost everything
and
they
think-
want us to see with this project, and it's all satellite feeds. It's the coolest, craziest shit you'll ever see.
If they used it nefariously, if they used it not nefariously, innocuously, what's the correct word? It starts with an. If they used it without any
Ill intent behind it.
it would be the coolest.
Coolest.
kick-ass laser light fucking
Mhm.
things in the sky
It-
show.
Laser
but
lights don't hold a candle to
Nothing.
what this looks like. I mean,
but
it
the
looks
shit
like
that they can do,
yes, it's crazy.
is
Imagine
amazing.
it was a Pink Floyd show, man.
Right? And
Well, they have shows right now where these giant robots are on stage, like giant, massive robots are doing these dances
Oh, he
and
said
changing.
Pink
and-
Floyd. Do we have to
Oh
talk?
shit! Dark Side of the Moon.
Are we going? No,
Menage a
let's
trois.
not.
How
Let's
the
not.
rainbow coming out of it. You can get on, Mike. It's
What
okay.
was it? Something
Kelly,
about
is
the
this
gay eggshell
So
thing?
Kelly, did you? Well, she doesn't have a conference monitor, but I can put it behind me.
I
What
don't
do you
know
got?
what.
Project Bluebeam. All these projects are
No, this
huge.
Barbie.
Yes.
Are you seeing it?
No.
Look,
But yes, that
look
is
up
the
there.
Barbie I'm talking about.
Did you show the audience the picture of the?
I'm in the middle of something, Larry. How
That
about
is
you pay
Project
attention?
Bluebeam. So once they closed the project, because they used this project in World War II and they used this project also in the Vietnam War.
Are you guys seeing that?
30-foot.
When they
Barbie
shut it
stepped out of the
down, they
box.
sold the tech to NGOs, non-government organizations, and this is what they've come up with. This is advertising.
30% Barbie.
That is a holographic Barbie coming out of a box in China.
Nice.
Massive Barbie, and
Just
this is
'cause you
during
like
the premiere
Barbie.
of the Barbie movie.
cool though.
I mean,
It
microphones.
is. It's the coolest shit ever. Like the whales flying through the sky. Like legit, they made the water look like it swirled when the whales came
So
up,
that's not like a
and they were
hologram?
flying. It's a
Damn.
hologram.
Now
Yeah.
I love my
Yeah.
New World Order masters.
Because they give you Barbie.
Giant
Barbie.
Barbies. Hell
You're
yeah.
all- it's all
I'm
hot. You're all
sold.
Hot, you're all hot and bothered. You're like, that's all it took to switch you over.
But that was the. So what was interesting to me is I'm looking at these videos, thinking about this stuff,
Right.
and that's blurred, and I'm like,
And
But
I'm going to tell you,
they've already floated doing Blade Runner type shit where they put the projections in the sky and it's
Right.
the advertisements.
Yeah.
They're already floating that. They have the technology
The
to do it.
Hunger Games.
correct. Well, and you guys are talking. They started with the simpler things, just broadcasting things straight into your brain from lampposts. They started doing that. It was part of Project Bluebeam, but it was also there was another under designation for it. But they can send signals into your head. That's why it's so important to hear the voice of God. My buddy Dino was posting in there, and he says that's what they're going to do for the coming of Christ.
Yes.
Is they want to have this huge thing. That's why the whole myth of the rapture, the rapture concept did not come into effect until the late 1850s, 1860s, and it was never in scripture. But they created this mythos, and they want that to be just like aliens. They want that to be one of the distracting things for people, so that they're not.
I'm not going to do anything because I'm going to get raptured up.
Correct. I'm not going to work hard at being a redeemer, of being a peacemaker,
I was
of
quite
being.
shocked at how many people thought yesterday was the rapture.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
quite
A lot
shocked.
of dumb people. out
That's
there.
the indoctrination.
I was quite shocked.
It's amazing, and you go, wait a minute, are you serious? And I look at people and go, listen. Scripture says that Christ is coming back for a church without spot, blemish, or any other wrinkle, a prepared bride. That doesn't sound like escapism or the world's gone to shit to me. That sounds like a bride who stood up and said, you know what? You hung on a cross to redeem us. I will do everything in my power to redeem all of mankind.
Creation.
And when you come back, all of creation is redeemed. It literally says in Romans, correct? You're correct, Tim. It says that all of creation groans in eager expectation for the freedom to be brought into the freedom of the sons of God. All of creation, everything we hear, whether it's legitimate or not, earthquakes, tornadoes, whatever it is that we endure from nature, is the earth crying out for us to step up into who we were supposed to be.
Our jurisdiction.
Our jurisdiction, our dominion,
authority,
because
dominion,
God,
yeah.
what was the first and only job that we were given in the garden? What was Adam given in the garden?
Eve.
Tend to the garden.
Tend.
Stay away from that Eve
Come
chick.
on,
She's
come
crazy.
on. Larry, you just fucked up my dialogue. Where the number one job we had in the garden was to tend
and protect
to the garden
and guard.
We were given dominion over everything
Was it that?
and told to protect the garden or tend to it, cultivate it. And I guarantee you, Christ will not come back until we, as the totality of human beings, there'll still be people that are doing stupid, but until we come to a collective understanding of tending to the garden that God has given us, Christ said, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I redeemed your soul. You were supposed to redeem the earth and yourselves. And the Lord is waiting for us to stand up. There is no great rapture to escape all the bullshit that we keep doing.
Unless you put the VR headset on and you go into the meta rapture.
But that's why they're trying to do that. That's why they're trying all of these techniques of holograms, of the rapture, of the metaverse, of all these things, these escapism, because if we actually individually sit down and go, Lord, who am I? Who did you create me to be? Who am I supposed to partner with my gifts and their gifts and your gifts and their gifts and their gifts? And we all come together with our giftings and our talents, and we stand up and go, all right, this is what we as a collective are supposed to do to tend to the garden. Some people are good at pruning a garden. Some people are good at fertilizing a garden. Some people are good at collecting the fruit at the exact right time that they're doing. Other people are good at preserving it once it's been collecting. What is your gifting? What is your calling? That's putting in a gardening technique and idea. But the reality is all of that needs to come together. And when we've done that and we as the children of God have redeemed the earth, that's when the Lord says, I will return in triumph. Look at Revelation 20 and 21. He's coming back for a triumphant church, not a church that's escaping and is been beat up and no, he came and redeemed us on a cross through a brutal crucifixion. so that we could be liberated to be who we are in the authority that God provided for us. Amen?
Amen.
Yeah. We got coffee.
I had to look up the exact date. If you've ever heard of the SR-71, it's our fastest spy plane. Okay, my brother happened to be a crew chief on the one that's sitting at the Smithsonian. I had to look up when it was first flown out of, and I think they said Base 42 in California. It was 1964.
Oh.
There was, it was when it first flew, and whatever. My brother, I remember him calling me. Anyway, getting back to the Barbie thing. If you saw Barbie and you think that's really cool and wow, believe me, there is stuff that they're DARPA or whatever that they're working on to make that look like
super
that.
soldiers.
Oh my God.
Oh, but the SR-71, if you've ever seen it in the real coming at you, it looks like a flying saucer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And people, and I remember my brother called me up on a phone in my barracks. He goes, "Hey, go outside at 10 this morning." And this was in 1976.
I wasn't alive yet.
But anyhow, I go outside and you hear this, whoa, boom, boom. You couldn't see it, but it was breaking because the Russians or whatever. And nobody even knew that this thing, just think, at 64, this was like.
Hold on. I don't want to interrupt you. Lori's about to pour me a huge drink. Just 2 fingers. Okay. Okay. I'm making sure I'm communicating. I'm like, the show's going to end. Continue, coffee. But
no, whatever you're seeing is, just think of 91 when we were so amazed that bombs that would go into windows.
There's the SR-71.
It was like, so you can just imagine what the hell is going
there
on.
There it is, the SR-71.
But if you see it coming straight at you,
Tanya's got a model.
Back in 64, you would think, oh my gosh, what is that?
Tell you, summer of 2020.
There you go.
I was sitting outside at the fire because I had just found out about the child trafficking and the human organ harvesting and all the craziness that this country does. Anyway, I was sitting out at the campfire. It was probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, just staring up at the stars because that's what I was doing at that time. Because I thought I was, I thought I was ill.
Yeah.
And there was this big flash of light behind me.
Okay.
And I was like, I swear to God, I think
like,
somebody
what the
had
hell?
a drone, but it freaked me out.
Right.
It freaked me completely. There's a big flash behind me, so I turn around really fast and I don't see anything. I am literally the only person awake in my area. Then all of a sudden the flash is over here, and then the flash was on the other side of my house, all within a span of probably 10 minutes.
Right.
Freaked me the frick out. So I started looking into flying saucers, and that's what got me into the holographs, and that's what got me into all that. That was
There's the front view.
Right there. That coming at you.
Get your mic.
That coming at you, and the wheels are up.
That thing's
It's incredible.
It
looks like
from a different world.
So you're talking 1964. That thing is still used to this day.
1964. Well, they
That
retired
was when it was first flown.
And they built that thing with slide rules. Kids don't even know what a fucking slide rule is. They built that thing with a slide rule without any computers. They built that thing. Okay. Right. And what's amazing is you said your brother's, he was on,
I went up to Beale
on the one that's retired at the Smithsonian in Washington.
Yeah, his name is on the plaque. He was the crew chief of the one they retired.
They retired in Washington.
Yeah.
On the day they retired that plane to the Smithsonian, you can look this up. Okay. That plane set another land speed.
Oh, that's
or
right.
Airspeed record.
Yeah.
Set an airspeed record the day it was retired.
Yeah.
That thing, when
the Blackbird is fucking awesome.
They
I have a massive crush on the guy in the commercial.
They cannot fuel that thing until it's ready to take off because.
No.
And he's in they're in an astronaut suit because it gets going so fast, then it'll really seal. The fuel will actually drip out of it until it gets up to speed.
Do you know what the max speed is of an SR-71?
It's up there.
It's 34, 35?
No, 2,193.167 miles.
What's the Mach? 3.4?
I'm not sure, but it's
divided by 700.
Yeah, 3.4.
Divided by 700.
That's why I said 34. I was remembering.
Yeah.
If you were to see that today
The
flying
Mach
at
speed.
you, you'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, 85,000 feet.
It would fly at 85,000 feet.
That was its cruising altitude.
No, it just says max. It's absolute altitude.
I think
what's the U2's max altitude?
Is 85,068.9997 feet.
Okay, so
I think
so
I've watched a live video of a takeoff of one of those.
They're
from
incredible.
The cab. Yeah, and from inside the plane, and they got up to 60, 80,000, and you get this beautiful. You can see the curve of the earth and everything.
it was fisheye lenses, but that's okay. I want to point out this. What Mr. Coffee was saying is that when it's sitting on the tarmac, it literally leaks the fuel out of it, and it has just enough fuel to take off and get to altitude. Because the surface, flying through the air, there's so much resistance, air resistance, that it heats up all the surfaces. So when it's sitting on the tarmac, they have a certain amount of time to take off, or they have to refuel on the tarmac. And the special fuel that they put in the SR-71, it's a kerosene-based fuel. It will leak out all over the tarmac because all of the surfaces on the SR-71, when you heat something up, it expands. And so when it's heated up, it expands and closes all the joints, but they have to leave those joints to be expanded while it's on the ground. And so until that plane reaches a certain altitude and its surfaces expand enough from the heat friction from the air, it's leaking fuel. And then it gets to altitude, and people don't realize that. That's why it's so cool that it set a airspeed record on its final voyage, is because not only did it have to take off and get in the air and fly from LA, was LAX?
I think they said, if I remember correctly,
to Washington.
If they flew it at top speed from East Coast to West Coast, and you shot a 30-06 at the same time, the plane would beat the bullet.
Yes. But the plane gets up to its refueling altitude, and then they have to have a refueling plane come in, fill it up because all the fuel is leaked out on the tarmac. They fill it up, and then the plane kicks into it. And there's like three different engine dynamics to it.
Oh, I'm not sure.
So there's a dynamic of the engine for takeoff. There's a dynamic for the engine for its refueling. And then there's this ultrasonic. There's this, it's not Boeing. No, there's an ultrasonic fuel. These other, not fuel, engine that kicks in that we just, and this is 1960s technology.
Right. But my point is when you guys get old and you see something that comes out like the Barbie thing that they want you to see, you will go, holy shit, what is that? It'll be so amazing to you. And they're working on it, like perfecting it right now. And in 20 years, you'll see it used against us or for us and go, whoa.
I don't think it's going to be 20 years.
Whatever. You're going to be amazed.
I think it's going to be a lot sooner than later.
Think about this, guys.
Everything works so quick now.
What?
Especially with
Get your microphone.
Elon Musk just,
especially with computers and everything.
Everything works so quick.
Yeah.
Think about this, guys. Just think about this, and then I want to get to some final thoughts. Well, I want to say this. No, I won't say that. I'll say it in my final thoughts. But think about this, okay? When was your first compact disc? When did you get your first?
I think I was like,
I got my first in 1990.
I was gonna say like.
I remember my
3 years old. Seventh grade.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Like seventh grade.
When did you get your first? You didn't even fucking make it here until the 90s. When did you make it here? 94?
99.
99. I knew there was a 9 in it. But when did you get your first compact disc? Right? I remember.
When it was in the military.
Microphone coffee.
Get your microphone coffee.
Big system.
And that was in the
I remember it at the
Dude,
BX.
I remember
it was in the 80s.
I owned a DJ business, and they quit making vinyl.
$1,200.
Yep, they quit making
Dude,
vinyl.
My
And they were
sisters.
so expensive. It was so expensive for me to convert that I just got out of DJ.
My two stepsisters had a player, and it was one of those old Sound Design or whatever the fuck it was, this like full panel face thing with, this EQ that really didn't do anything, and the double cassette deck, and the CD player in it, and then the record player on top. And I remember they had the first 2 ever Petra albums, the Christian band Petra. This Means War, and what was the other one, Tim? Remember the first two albums? It wasn't Wash as White as that came out later. It was This Means War. Anyways, it was a Christian band, not a gay band.
I've never heard of it.
God, not everybody, flew planes and felt like they were
Just guessing. I looked
I
around. I
roller
didn't know.
skated in my basement.
my whole
with an
point- my
8-track
whole
So
point
what
tape
you're
was-
saying
player.
is it wasn't 3 non-blondes?
It was not. So in 89, almost 90, that was the first compact disc. Do you
It
know
was in the
compact disc?
80s.
You know
That was the
compact discs
first
were
compact
invented
disc?
in the early 70s?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to feed into coffee, but he stepped on my.
Beyond belief.
So he's
Didn't do anything. I was just it was $1,100.
I don't know. They
It was
just,
$1,100 for that deck. Who
I
could
know.
afford
So
that
what I'm
with
saying
four
is,
stripes
what
on
I'm
your
saying
coat?
is,
No.
technology that they have that you see today is 30 years behind what they actually have.
Exactly.
they just did a discovery. I can't remember exactly where it was in Europe. I read it in a science magazine recently, where they found technology they thought was just like, it's tech. It was like a laptop from the 1800s.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I know. Crazy. And it's legitimate tech. Like they don't know what it did, but it
Yep.
has memory. It has, yeah.
You will think this is crazy, but the president of the United States does not have like the top clearance.
I believe that.
There's a bunch
100%
above
believe
that.
that.
Man that he
Well,
will never see.
Yeah, the reptiles, the reptoids.
Who wanted
The reptoids.
who wanted to release all the info on the aliens, and they said no, you can't, and if you do, you're not going to have another term.
There was one, but I know Trump did everything he could to release all the information on JFK,
And they no,
and the
they
clearance people said, "No, you're not gonna do that."
won't, because they don't want to. They
Yeah.
don't want us to see what they are.
Speaking of Trump,
Pretty much
The
everybody,
lizard people.
pretty much everybody knows that JFK was.
Yeah.
look at. Wait, did everybody see that?
Yeah.
Do that again.
Was shot
George
by
is
his
like,
own country.
Everybody knows that JFK was like.
It's like
Was murdered by
It's like-
his own people,
He got the finger pull.
No, he was
As well as
killed. He
his
was killed by a
brother.
magical
He's
bullet.
like,
as well as his
Back
brother.
and to the left.
A bullet was magic.
Back and to the left. All right, fuck me. So Trump is tired of all the bullshit that he's dealing with, all these contempt of courts, all these,
8 and 9.
all of these shutdowns, everything like that. Okay.
I'm still waiting for the
And
hair
Trump
machine.
said, Trump came out this week and he said, I didn't pull the clip, but you guys can look it
I'll
up.
be out.
Trump said, I'm done. You want to hold me in contempt of court? Put me in jail. I'm fucking done.
I'll be like Nelson Mandela.
Exactly. You heard the quote. He's like, you want to do a Nelson Mandela on me? Go ahead. Because he's done with this. Every time they threaten him, you can't talk about the fact that we're railroading the fuck out of you and screwing everybody. And you're the poster child for all the other conservatives out there that we're trying to put a chilling effect on. And he's like, fuck you. I've had enough.
And yet, every time they do, it only makes him stronger.
Wow.
Every
They're
time.
so
Wow. Wait, what's the phrase? First they ignore you, then they persecute you,
And they fear you.
then they attack you, and then you win.
You got to be really, really stupid not to see how afraid they are of that guy. I mean, you got to be really stupid on the libtard side to not see what's going on. You
It's
got to be
called
really
Trump
stupid.
derangement syndrome.
There's only been 3 legitimate presidents since Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt. There's only been 3 legitimate presidents.
You know, I'm just,
JFK, Reagan, and Trump.
this
Those are
may
only
not
3
be,
because they tried to kill all 3 of them or assassinate their character. What do you got, Koff?
I'm just saying it's not very Christian of me, but if Trump gets in there, I want some serious paybacks. I want serious paybacks, man. And that would start like we were talking to Bet's group, just
You need a nip?
start with the Pentagon and just get rid of them and take maybe a 1-star and pull them up or something. You got it.
And,
Payback.
I mean, what we're watching before our eyes right now, it's something I never thought I would see. But, they've rolled the ideologies of Stalin, Marx, and Hitler all into one to go after Trump.
Right.
And I mean, look what they're doing to anybody that set foot on the steps at
Tell about
On January 6th. Yeah. So, huh?
The simple thing of putting up that thing that
Microphone.
Oh, yeah,
microphone.
Lori.
Microphone.
Show that thing. She got 180 days for this thing.
Yeah, Lori
Just
just got suspended from Facebook
Check it out.
for 180 days. And all she did was put up this Facebook post.
Check this out. They're going at it already again. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Get
Well,
your
of
microphone,
course.
Coffee.
Of course they are. They
We
have
want to hear you, buddy.
They can hear Larry. I'm just talking to you guys.
I
The
know.
audience
I
don't
want.
need
We,
me. Check
no,
this
the
shit out.
audience wants to hear you. It's
No,
a
they don't.
dialogue.
Look,
It's a dialogue.
no, Coffee. No, we don't want to hear you. No, everywhere.
Is everybody telling Coffee to shut the fuck up?
Hey, one's in chat if you want to hear Coffee.
All right, let's
zeros
catch
if
up
you
in
wanna
chat real
shut
quick, and I'm going to go around the table with final thoughts. I love this dialogue. You know what? Sometimes the disappointment for me is it takes quite a while for us to get into just talking. Because we're pointing out this and we're pointing out that. I like it when we just kind of coalesce into a group of people and just trade ideas. That's where I thrive.
You have to see this thing that
Vibing.
Larry's got.
And sometimes it takes like an hour or something, or an hour and a half, to where we finally just relax and just enjoy each other's company. And that's where I thrive. That's what I love.
There you go.
Larry's playing with his Facebook. What do you got going on there, Georgie?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
okay.
No. I'm saying. So I got to do this. Give me the bottle, George. Tim, give me the table shot. This is from our great friend. You might have to hold it over there.
Laszlo.
George, hold it in front of the camera. Go that way, and the camera. That camera. Turn it sideways. All the way down. All the way down. Come on, all the way down. Get right in front of that fucking camera. Turn it sideways. There you go. Gorgeous. So what he did was he took one of our it's on both sides. There you go. So what he did was he took, all right, bring it back just like a foot. There it's focusing. All right. Auto fucking us. No, it's all good. So anyways, our good friend Laszlo, he's done 2 or 3, but there's another bottle over there. He prints out a sticker, he puts a sticker on there, and he sandblasts the rest of that, and it comes off as "This is my brain." So this is my brain. We're working with him. We're about to have some tumblers. We're about to have some. There it is. Oh God, it turned out. I had to come out and do it. It almost came out perfect. And so, all right, you're good, George. So George is looking at the skull all night, and finally motions to me, and so I get him show this. George, show your shot glass. It is a mini skull shot glass.
The head is cut.
The head is cut like you're having brain
The
stew.
head is missing.
Yeah, you can see it in the shot.
When you go in Vietnam,
Get on your.
you can get a specialty.
Start over.
And this true story from a friend of my father. He went in Vietnam, and the best dish that they can give you when you go over there and you are high up, that they respect you, is the head of the monkey cut in the middle, and the brains. You eat the brains with a spoon.
Chilled monkey brain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So somebody ate the brains here.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the
Check
juice.
that out. You're drinking my brain there, buddy. No,
Oh.
How's that? That's tasty.
I hope they
tasty
kill
brain.
the monkey before they eat
Yeah,
the
buddy.
brain.
You like my brain. All right.
So I sent you.
You gotta see it.
I sent you Lori's Facebook suspension. So she got 180 days for.
You gotta see it.
You were saying that, yeah. For what you did?
No.
Or for what she did? Yeah, of course. Because they're trying to suppress anything.
But I
Because
sent it so you can put it on the
Yeah,
show.
so you can show it.
all right, but we got like we're 4 minutes to 11, and you're
right.
Okay, my final thought is vote.
Microphone.
Microphone.
I'll get my
See?
final thought out of the way. Vote. There, so you just save time.
All right.
I will expand
So
on
I
his.
encourage anybody, if you get suspended for something like this, to send it to me, and we'll expose
Check this out.
fascist book.
Insane.
We removed your photo. This is what happened. So she got 100.
This is why she got removed?
Yeah, 180 days for
just swap her for Tim
for promoting a dangerous organization.
Oh, mega rallies in Detroit and Chicago.
Or follow them.
Look.
Oh yeah. That's why we love Rumble and X. I was not a big Twitter fan since Elon Musk has taken over, and has for the most part been and the reality is I watched him do interviews, and he's like, look, we cut 20% of our staff. We still have a lot of people that are embedded that are trying to pull shit. And the reality is those who have maybe 2 or 3 people removed or direct contact with him, when they go, hey, I'm being shadow banned, he responds immediately. But not everybody has that access to him. And so
I just don't use Facebook.
No, not Facebook. I'm saying X.
I know.
And some of these other
That's why
platforms.
we call it fascist book.
Fascist book. All right, who's signed?
I did.
All right, Kelly, give me your final thoughts.
Final thoughts to expand on Stacy's
180
vote.
days.
Yeah.
In person, day of, your own pen, and your ID. And anyone telling you to vote early and vote by mail is trying to get you to participate in fraud.
Actually, we have a text number. You can text and vote in.
Don't do it. They just sentenced that fucking guy.
For my entire adult life up until 2020, it has always been day of, you got the results before midnight.
Correct.
Exactly.
And the
Day
dude
of,
is
you got the results before
everywhere.
midnight. And the only people that mailed in were over 80 or in the military. That was
Right.
it.
You had exemptions
Prior to
because you couldn't.
2020. Mm-hmm.
And the
But
guy,
the deadly virus with a 98% recovery rate.
the guy that
made it
said if
so.
you're going to vote for Hillary, show up on the following day, he
Prison.
sentenced prison.
Yeah.
And the chick who said vote for Trump tomorrow, the day after the election, scot-free. Same platform. Tells you what our government's doing. Larry, what do you got? Final thought, mother.
Final thought. Pay attention.
Larry's a trucker. Can I call him a mother trucker? Do you ever truck mothers?
Yeah, there.
Only your wife. Go ahead, Larry.
She's
mother
very
trucker.
well trucked.
The truck mothers will do it.
And don't mix up my pages. Sign my page. Keep
Oh,
your
is
shit
this one
separate.
your page?
Yeah. Do the brown pen because you sold yourself.
Okay.
You drink too much Coke, man.
He did drink a lot of Coke. over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mess up your
Look at
brain.
he almost
So,
couldn't put the cap
yeah,
on.
it's time for everybody to pay attention.
I gotta call you an Uber.
A lot of people don't pay enough attention to what's going on, and then they wonder why everything's going downhill fast. And that goes for especially Christians, because I'm sick and tired of Christians that whine and then they don't vote, or they want to turn off their TVs and not pay attention to anything.
Yeah.
While they live their life, they go to work. They're good people, but they're not informed of what's going on.
They're not informed and they've been indoctrinated to not pay attention because Jesus is coming and we're going to rapture out.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, like I just kicked somebody off my Facebook page because the only thing they can say is like there's only one Bible. There's only one Bible verse. Judge not or you shall be judged. And there's no other Bible verses. That's the only one.
We can break that down in the Greek because it says literally we can break that down in the Greek.
Yeah.
So when they say judge not, thus you'll be judged. Okay, it literally in the Greek means to discern or divide amongst.
Yeah.
And it literally means to break it down and go, I'm going to make a distinction between those who are doing this and those who are doing that.
Right.
Not good or evil. Those who are doing this and those who are doing that, because
Right.
we're judged by our fruit.
Right.
And so it's judge not lest you be judged. So the reality is when you're doing what you're supposed to do,
Yeah.
you have every right to judge those who are not. But the caveat is, are they in my midst? Do I have influence in their life? Do I have a covenant relationship with them? Just as Jesus said, if you have a problem with your brother, go to him one-on-one.
Right.
So in that situation, if
That
my brother,
means if I have a problem with you,
if I have a problem with you, we're
I'm
going to
supposed
talk.
to go to you and we're supposed to talk about it.
Did
But
we-
if I don't know you,
Correct. Then I don't sit on YouTube and go, well, this preacher over here is doing this and doing that. You don't have any idea his covenant. It says
well,
another
it depends
scripture.
on what he's preaching. If
Well, but here's another
if
scripture.
he's preaching LGBTQ crap.
Oh, absolutely. But there's another scripture that goes along with that. It
Right.
says, who are you to judge another man's servants? To his own master he will stand or fall.
You
And
don't
the Lord
know.
is able to make him stand.
Right.
And so the reality is I go, Does he believe he's serving the Lord the way he's supposed to? Well, until I have a 10,000 member church, who am I to look at the 10,000 member church guy over here who I don't have a relationship with, and I'm trying to make a name for myself, like the people who say that Walmart's evil and sell T-shirts that say Walmart's evil? Well, you're making money off of Walmart because you're saying Walmart's evil, but if Walmart didn't exist, you don't have any T-shirts to sell that say Walmart's evil. So the reality is, you actually want Walmart to stay in business because you can say they're evil, so you sell your T-shirts
and make money.
and make money. So you don't really want that preacher. Yeah, so you don't really want that evil preacher to go out of business because you get all your views on your show, on your channel, because you attack that preacher. And the reality is, that's your fraudulence. That's your scam. Is that it?
That's it.
Shane?
What happened to the little brain? Didn't we used to have a little brain?
I did. It got smushed. It got squished.
Did it?
Oh no, I brought up the
Came
hard
on that
green one last
Oh, the
week.
where'd the hard green one go? Vince got me the like a squishy brain,
Yeah.
and it lasted like a week, and then
Oh,
it
the
got
squishy brain.
smashed by one of the grandkids, and
Yeah.
like all the fluid leaked out of it.
Of
And I'm
course
like,
it
dude, it was
did.
cool because I could throw it at Larry periodically throughout the show. Shane, your final thoughts, and then we'll have George sign over here.
I can see if Evan can print another brain.
What do you want me to sign with pink?
What color? Yeah.
No,
go-
what do you like? Pink?
Well, it's just contrasting colors. We
Any
love
of
all the
these
colors of the
types of
rainbow,
colors.
and they can't be hijacked by the gays.
Jeremy's a racist, so because since you're a foreigner, he wants you to emasculate yourself.
Oh yeah. Quick question.
I am
How
a
do you
racist.
like being a white
I like
supremacist?
red.
I mean, that's what they say I am. I mean, I'm actually Latino, so I can't be racist. so
Trey Yo.
Yeah.
My last
oh,
name prevents me from being racist.
Did you see now that I'm like a proud boy? and-
Yeah.
What
My
was
man.
what was the other thing? There's proud
Welcome
boy.
to the club.
There was something else they threw in there. I don't want to forget it. Darn it! It was
Well, he
Proud
represents
Boy.
the KKK.
Oh,
That's all I
I'm
know.
tied to the Liberty Militia.
Oh.
Sounds badass.
Yeah.
Did we
So-
interview those guys?
Yeah. What
And
was
those
it?
guys were
What
not
was
even
it?
tied to
What was
anything.
their
They're like,
full
we didn't
name?
even know what the Liberty Militia was until
Yeah.
we
The
were.
Wolverine Watchman?
Oh, the Wolverine Watchmen. Yeah.
I don't know.
They were like,
Yeah, I was tied to some militia group and to the Proud Boys. And it's
Yet
like-
another group that doesn't
And then
know
I
that.
then I was
I told Larry to embrace it.
campaign manager for the people running for Heartland School Board, and it's like we're all like just learning this.
I like it when, so Norris had the night off because we
can't
had a
keep
full
up with their
table
lives.
tonight. And I knew George and Shane were coming. So I'm like, Norris, I asked him politely to take the night off. But Norris is our resident white supremacist. He's our,
Is he?
Right. And he's,
dude.
and he's gay.
I didn't say that. You said that. No, the three of us are trans coming out.
I forgot. I
So-
took over when he wasn't here, and I turned black. I felt
Yeah, you're
like,
a,
and
You
gay.
did.
You're trans
And gay.
black.
You were
yes.
trans black.
I get this
You
so mixed up.
identify.
Right. You
Yeah.
identify as black. And
Yeah.
then,
I
then,
identify as a lesbian.
well, that's true. And then
Tell that joke every
we
time.
looked at the Dark Side of the Moon album from Pink Floyd and realized that triangle represented the three of us being trans
Mhm.
who were ready to come out. It was white going in, but then the colors came out the other side. So that was
There
us
we go again.
being the trans coming out.
And real quick,
And I didn't even know that. And I'm sitting here singing the songs on it, not realizing that I was invoking chants over myself about my
Right.
transgenderism. And you know, clearly our lefties that watch the show, they call us out.
and
so
real,
I received
real
that.
quick,
You're
I
a snowflake.
I received that.
I
from
just
you.
want to thank Shane and Larry now for I was way up for like 4 days ago. I mean, I was up there.
You were
Now you
stoned
guys
or
get
high?
to go back up there, and I'm dropping below Trump. And
Oh,
stuff.
we're talking about
'Cause in
you
a
were
couple
high for
days-
4
Yeah,
days?
because you with your little Facebook
And-
page.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought for
and
sure they
you
were
with your
gonna.
white
They-
supremacy.
They melted down
They
over,
went-
over my illegal page.
George,
They
what the fuck are you
went-
doing?
Their heads went boom.
Yes.
George feels left out.
George,
Shane, finish your final thought. We got me and George and
Final thought, delegates4trump.com. We have a lot of events coming up. So we're going to have one here at the Man Cave in early May. So we'll start promoting that soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be very cool and great events to get, you know, the person who you know is a conservative. They haven't really gotten involved yet. This is the event to bring them out, you know, show them the community, show them the camaraderie amongst conservatives and get them involved, grow the army, and let's get a victory in November. No matter what the obstacles are, we can overcome them if we're smart and we band together. So Let's make it happen and go to delegates4trump.com.
Awesome. And we've got Joe Farkas coming here this coming Tuesday, a week from today, here at the Man Cave. And if you know somebody, if you don't make that event, or if you do then make that event and you sign up, I still want you to come to the thing we're going to have in May, just before the deadline, with Shane's organization.
Yep, if you sign up next week, come to the one in May, and then bring a friend or two.
And bring a friend, because we want everybody. We gotta have. This is our last line of defense. Is each and every one of us being a delegate. George?
Pretty much the same thing that all people say, go vote and vote for the right person who is going to make America good again.
Yeah.
And one more thing, we are focusing so much in the inside of United States and try to pick up all the news from inside of United States.
Yeah.
To make sure that and to be totally informated, you have to pay some attention also from the news from out of United States.
And you send me a ton, and I actually want to
a good guy
start a segment where we
a
just
good
do
guy
this.
that is his podcast every day in YouTube. Somebody was talking about the Greek word or something. He's Greek too. His name is Alex Christoforou. Every day he has a podcast in YouTube, and you can go from Mystery Drone Hit, ZNPP, Medvedev's Warns West, Medvedev no hiding from Macron or Iran retaliation coming or NATO mission in Ukraine and so on. So it opens more your eyes and see
To the bigger
exactly
picture.
what those people that are sending money around the world are doing outside, because not see all the
Our media
mainstream
suppresses it.
media is not showing you anything at all. Yeah, this is a guy. He's a great guy. I think most of the time he spends.
You send me that link.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send. And he lives in Cyprus.
George literally sends me what, once a day, sometimes
Whatever I
twice a
find
day, and then
interesting.
he'll skip a day. He'll let me breathe. But he sends me videos all the time, and I love
I
it.
find those
But he'll-
interesting for
dude,
people to get
they're
round up,
Yeah,
not
they're-
only
they're-
inside the United States, also what is happening around
They're
us.
protesting the
I
farmers
watched
are
the
coming
other
out throughout Europe. The farmers
RT.
are, RT? Yeah, the farmers are protesting throughout Europe hardcore, right? And George has sent me so many
Did you
ground
see
level.
that they throw all the shit in government
Yeah.
buildings, cow
He sends me
manure?
stuff that is almost directly from somebody's phone. It circumvents all the media. He'll send me stuff. And my only disappointment is that I don't get a chance to literally post it, but we're working on the infrastructure to be able to go, hey guys, I'll pop online and I'll go, my good friend George just sent me this. This is not through media. This is not a media post. This is somebody he knows on the ground in this country, whatever country it may be, who sent him their camera phone video of them protesting this shit.
And the Agenda 2030, the people that are in that group, they
Yeah.
didn't like all the protests of the farmers and everything.
Of course not.
They never
'Cause they-
thought that the farmers was going to react in this way. Did you see the best video was a 45 police car?
Yeah.
And against the people and the tractors. And
Yeah.
two tractors got together and they pushed the 45 vehicle on the side.
The tractors pushed them around.
And open the road for the
Because
rest
people
of
are
them.
like, you're going to replace real cattle, beautiful, beautiful cattle, with cancer cell lab grown meat that people are going to eat with cricket powder sprinkled on top of it to make breading. Go fuck yourself.
Feel like we all live in the Dr. Seuss world of stars upon ours.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Starbelly Sneetches, baby.
I used to kill one deer a year for meat.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I
I
was
decided
wondering where you were going with that. I used to
2024,
kill.
I'm going to
He
have
almost
2
was
or
gonna say
3
something else.
because I'm not going to buy meat anymore. I don't know
American-
what the shit is inside of the
Right.
meat.
You better bring some over.
One
He's like,
American a
I used
year.
to kill one deer.
American a year.
Deer. No, I love you guys. Hey, my
I'm
final
sorry.
thought on this is guys, take a moment this week. Calm your heart. Just take a moment. It doesn't take much. 5 minutes here or there. Don't play with your fucking microphone while I'm talking.
Stop. Calm your microphone, Larry.
Mike.
I got in trouble for that shit.
Take a moment the rest of this week. Relax. Find a quiet place if you can. And take 5 minutes. And just breathe. Just take a deep breath. Release the tension within you. Okay?
But don't eat White Castles first.
Don't do that. And then I want you to do this simple thing. All right, I'm going to be serious for a second. I want you to do the simple thing. I want you to go, Lord, just speak to my heart and guide me today. Nothing more extravagant than that. I want you to take a moment and go, Lord, guide me today. Do that. And all of us as human beings, as mankind, we'll take that first step to reach a place where God can speak to us and direct us and guide us through each step that we're supposed to take. And we will come together as a humanity, as the people God created, who are living our purpose, living our potential, and walking out who we are created to be. And if we do that, we will usher in the second coming of Christ, because we've reached the pinnacle of who we were created to be. As long as we allow politicians, that's the ring of truth, as long as we allow the politicians and the controllers currently in power of this world to manipulate and dictate to us, we will be subjected to their bullshit. And that's not how God destined us to be. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Love you all. We didn't get to all of the chat in there, but I appreciate all of you. And our people were reading it while we're doing the show and laughing while we're trying to say something serious over here. So it's fun. Thank you always for that. Appreciate you guys. Don't want to ever overlook you, but there's just too much in a show. I think we hit like 80 or something like that live, turning in just on Rumble. Of course, you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, you're on all this, as long as we didn't get banned on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe, please. Check out all the websites. Delegates for Trump, the number 4 Trump. Check out who was our candidate that you were promoting?
Powell for Michigan.
Powell for Michigan. Check him out. There's so many great grassroots things. Just because our parties are compromised and at some levels it's really just the WWF where they're all the same at the top, doesn't mean that we can't have an effect and we can't be grassroots. And that's why I thank God for the anointing that God's placed on President Trump to be that one shining icon that says, let's make America great. And he really means it, because this is a guy that saw the blessings of America and rose above that. And so I'm so honored to be in this position to talk to you guys, share my brain. This is my brain. Thank you for my co-hosts. Thank you for our bartenders. Thank you for my producer, Tim, over there, who gets after us now and then.
You share your brain.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Look at George says, thank you for sharing my brain. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tim, take it away.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude,
that's an egg.
seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
So sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize. Yeah.
Never apologize and never explain.